Hello, hello, my lovely folks. How are we all doing today? Okay, we got D&D. It's happening. We got a lot of lads with us. We got a lot of lads that are going to be coming in. I hope you're all ready. It's going to be fun. I hope. The Fable D&D stream. It's real. It's happening. It's with all of us. All right. For our very first guest, our very first player that will be joining us today. Oh, I should probably introduce myself first. Hello, I'm Riley Renhart. I will be your dungeon master for tonight. I will be giving them a session 0 brief introduction to my world and helping them build characters. But for our very first player of the night, I am going to introduce Tigress. Hello there. How are you doing today? Hello. Good. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Used to make clips. Now I'm trying to go for long form content on youtube.com.
So real, so true. I completely vibe with that. What is your experience with D&D?
I actually used to be a DM for a long time group, but unfortunately they kinda disbanded. But yeah, I've like DM'd like I would want to say like two maybe 3 campaigns, but none of them like got to completion. So I guess
Awesome.
I DM'd like 1.5.
All right. Well, very good. We'll hope that this campaign lasts a little longer. Next up, down the line, our next guest that we'll be introducing, co-host extraordinaire, Chris8763. Hello, hello. How are you doing today?
Oh, it's me.
It's you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Chris Bunch of Numbers. Don't bother remembering the numbers every time. But yeah, that's me. I'm a YouTuber who used to make videos. I think that's my title.
YouTuber previously was posting. All right. What is your experience with D&D, if I may ask?
I've had one it wasn't even really D&D. It was a different system, a tabletop system for like a Star Wars one. And I was a Mandalorian, and we went through like a whole campaign, and it took like 2 years, and then I died at the end because a giant Godzilla-type monster lasered our spacecraft, and we all died.
That's so awesome. Next up down the line, we're going to hope your character doesn't die here. Next
Hopefully
guest for us is going to be Rickon. How you doing, buddy?
Hello? What's up? You
What's
got cut
up?
off. I didn't hear whatever you just said.
Oh, I was just saying your name. Rickon, what's going on? How are you?
That is me. I'm here. Yeah, what's up?
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Rickon. I'm another fighting game VTuber. I stream mostly Guilty Gear and really anything, to be honest. I don't really have a consistent stream schedule or plan. I just go with whatever and see how it goes.
Awesome. Love to hear it. Experience with D&D. What do you got?
Funny story. I've tried to start D&D at least 5 different times, but the classic D&D problem of never having a group that can stick around for more than 1 week just kept hitting me. So I never got past week 2 for any of those games.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we'll get at least past week 2 here. I tend to at least get us to session 3. After that, we'll see what happens.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Next on our player docket today is one Mr. Salty Boy. How are you doing today?
I am doing quite well. Thank you.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Introduce yourself if you could.
I am Saute Boy, as he's already said, but I just post YouTube content sometimes. I haven't posted anything in a bit, but that's about it.
What is your experience with D&D, if I may ask?
I don't really have experience with like actual D&D, but I used to do these things where we would like make up stories and then we like play out those stories, but like
Sure.
maybe we have like a dice roll here or there, but nothing like too crazy. So
Okay. I got you.
nothing elaborate.
All right. Our final guest of tonight, one of my co-hosts for the Fake Grand Order live dub that I'm doing on Red Mufflerman's channel. One Shane Shane, how are you doing today? Hello?
I am doing well enough. I have you playing twice, so there we go. Okay, now I can hear just you in the moment. And yeah, I think I'm coming down with a minor cold, but we're gonna get through it. life is good, or it will be if I keep on pretending for long enough.
That's the way to do it, I think. All right, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm Shane, known commonly as Shane Val Shane, or on Twitter as Shane McPartland. Having a bit of an identity crisis right now, and not really sure which one of those I want to run with. Because when you're applying for jobs, sometimes you don't want them to see your Twitter. But here we are. I
So real.
am.
You're so real for that.
So real. Thank you. I am a voice actor. I am a content creator. I am a little bit of a digital artist. And I think fighting games are neat, but I'm not a very good player. And I guess those are just a couple things about. Oh, I'm kind of a weeb, but like not in like oh, we can't bring this guy anywhere kind of way. Just like, you know, I'll have a casual conversation with you about if there's something in that sphere you like. I'm happy to talk to you about it.
All right. What is your experience with D&D?
Yeah. I have played a couple of one-shots, and I was in one campaign that ran for, I want to say, maybe 6 months or so. And then, of course, scheduling conflicts and stuff came up. So I've done 5e. I've done a little bit of a different system called, I think it's called, like, Monsters and Mutants or something.
Oh, Mutants and Masterminds. Yeah, I know.
Mutants and Masterminds. And I've done a couple of 5e homebrews besides that, and the longer campaign. And some one-shots. So, for me, like, I'm not really, I guess this will be apparent, I guess, as we go on, but, like, I'm not mega into, like, power gaming kind of thing. I think a lot of times the most fun comes just from, like, you know, just the playing around, role-playing and stuff.
Sure.
It is fun when your character is able to, like, contribute to an encounter and stuff, but what's most important to me is just, like, that the party has a good time together.
Completely based and understandable. All right, folks, you can all unmute yourselves now that we're all introduced. And this is where we're going to open ourselves up to a little discussion. You see, folks, I'm going to make it very apparent how I play this game and how my expectations for how I'm going to run this, so you kind of know what you're getting yourselves into. I believe that combat is a valid form of roleplay. Fighting to the death is, believe it or not, a very good time to express emotion in roleplaying. As such, I like to have fun, creative encounters that aren't just monster stat blocks where they hit you once or twice, oftentimes having something cool or unique happening that's not necessarily in the book. But that being said, I do allow for a lot of times to just talk in character and explore the setting around you. As such, because of that, I have a choice for you all. This is going to be your very first choice entering into this world. And that is difficulty that you would like to play at. I got 5 difficulty settings for you. Each of them means something, and I'll kind of explain them as I go. First one, the diplomatic difficulty. This is a difficulty which is very, very low risk of damage. For the most part, it is a setting where you're just talking and communicating, and it's just basically all roleplay, and you're never going to have to worry about combat unless you, like, severely fuck up. And I mean, like, massively fuck up. If so long as you don't do that, you will not need to worry about actually killing someone. The next difficulty available is the mercenary. The mercenary has to fight every once in a while. You know, challenges will come up, but it's still a very more story-centric, we'll call it, driven campaign. The third setting is adventure. Good mix, 50-50. Boss fights, as well as exploration and development, so on and so forth. Warlord is when we start getting a little silly. Warlord is when I start throwing the funny shit at you, and we have some good time with some very jank bosses that can and potentially kill you. This is where player death becomes like a real possibility in the Warlord. There's one more available to you, and that is known as the Hero difficulty. Hero difficulty is reserved for very experienced players who will not die, and they are thrust into very dangerous situations frequently. And it is a matter of survival more than it is existing. Because of that, what difficulty setting would you guys like to play at?
Do we go one by one? How do we want to do this?
You
What
can
was
just- you can
between
have a
diplomatic
conversation.
and warlord again?
Mercenary and adventure. Mercenary is just kind of lax. Adventure is a good mix of 50-50.
Okay.
I would personally opt for either mercenary or adventure, because I think that having so I think a lot of the fun with like tabletop RPGs is indeed like I said, like the role playing and stuff. But at the same time, I think that having stakes could make for some interesting scenarios that we might not otherwise see. Which leads me to think that either mercenary or adventure would be a good pick. I feel like anything higher than that, and we're going to like I wouldn't want to design a character around like what I don't want to have like a character's origin or anything have to correspond with like I need them to be strong in combat personally.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
my feeling.
I think it's
Yeah, we're-
important that we do one of the middle tier difficulties so that we have a strong mix of both role playing outside of combat and combat. Because from the sound of it, it sounds like we're all sort of new to tabletop RPGs, right?
Well, most of you.
Oh, I think I missed your
Zing.
intro.
It's fine. It's
His
fine.
ass was not listening.
I
mean,
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
on like the adventure mercenary boot camp as well, especially with how I want to.
Yeah,
play.
I was gonna say I'd like going for the higher difficulties, but since most of us aren't used to, maybe not used to the system yet, maybe we can like go down to at least adventure.
Yeah,
Not a
I'm
fan of
thinking
mercenary.
adventure.
Yeah, we could do.
Is mercenary
I think
2 or
adventure
3?
sounds good.
Mercenaries 2.
Mercenaries 2 on the difficulty
Okay,
scale.
okay,
Adventure
yeah.
is 3.
Yeah, that's
I mean, if you guys
reasonable.
want to go for mercenary, I don't mind either. I just I would just prefer like a little more
Hmm.
challenge in my games.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think
Alright.
adventure would be good.
All right. So now is the second one. Second option for you all. This is about more vibe that we're going for. We can play a couple of options. There's white, gray, and black. White is just pure comedy. We are just having fun, goofing around. You know, nothing really matters. We're just kind of living to have fun. Gray is where we get into sort of like the idea of like, oh, your actions have consequences. Who
Yeah.
would have guessed? Fuck around and find out territory. Not like anything crazy. It's not like you're going to be blowing up countries, probably. Just, you know, people will be angry with you if you insult them to their face, sort of consequences. And then we get into black, which is where your consequences, your actions can gravely affect things. You may lock yourself out of story beats if you, you know, mishandle a situation. Very not an intense roleplay, I'll say, as in you have to be careful with what you say.
I would
think
say
gray is
gray or
good.
black.
I'm a fan of black, but if you go for gray, I'm fine.
So, here's my thinking is like when it comes to getting locked out of story beats, if we don't know, it makes no difference. It's not like we're playing like a video game where it's like, oh, you didn't get 100% completion. You didn't get every chest in that dungeon and you're going to be bothered by it, right? It's just like, okay, this is the way that the story is shaping up. For that reason, black doesn't really bother me. I think that having a dynamic world could be interesting, and lead to, I guess, better like play, essentially. But at the same time, it's, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world if we didn't have to like rewrite entire scenarios every session because we keep on saying dumb shit and rolling
Yeah.
like low charisma rolls and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say this now, if that is part of your concern. Charisma rolls, while important, take a back seat to physical words that you say.
Okay,
Mainly because
okay.
I do not want your entire relationship with someone just to completely fail because you were unlucky.
Sure.
I see.
Yeah, so like if you're like needing to convince someone, we'll have a roll. If you're like really trying to get someone and like they're hard set on something, we'll have a roll. But if it's like just a normal conversation or just something where you're just choosing words, we're not going to worry about like charisma rolls there.
Honestly, I'm leaning towards black.
Yeah.
All right. We will have a very serious setting. Very good. All right. Let it be known that does not completely invalidate bits and goofs. That simply just means that time and place.
For sure.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So, now then, allow me to introduce you to my world. This will be the setting you're taking place in, one of the continents on my world, Somnia Terrace, known as Barosia. I am going to go country by country. If you have any questions at the end of a country, ask me, and we'll talk about it. I want to make sure that you are familiar with this world. All right. So, allow me to start in the greatest nation on the country, or at least that's what they'll tell yourselves, the Yarning Empire. Hold up. Oh, shit. Hold up. Haha. I had the wrong window open. I have 2 instances of map tools open, once to show the audience and once for me, because, you know. Okay. Yes, this should be correct. All right, so this is the Yarning Empire. The Yarning Empire is La Generica Fantasyland. It is kings and queens and knights and horses and dragons, maybe, and monsters that roam the land. It is, when you think of just generic fantasy, this is the country for it. It is primarily composed of humans, and it is divided between a king and a queen. The queen rules up at the top here in this lake city known as Queen's Point. Queen's Point handles all diplomatic relations as well as internal treasury, while down here in Kingsport, where the king rules, he oversees all sort of executive sort of situations with like military and like construction. It used to be a part of a massive super country which composed all 3 of these locations, Kyrium, Yarning, and Zarakoshi, but due to a series of civil wars has recently shrunk in size. They are currently at war with Zarakoshi. Any questions so far?
Nope, but I'm rooting for Zarakoshi.
You may not after this.
Okay, I trust you.
Boy.
No questions. We will continue forward. Zarakoshi. Zarakoshi, so long ago, was a being born with angelic power. As such, he believed that he should take the right of king from his brother of the Yarning Empire. That caused a dispute and the first civil war of Yarning, creating the holy domain of Zarakoshi. Zarakoshi established 6 major cities, each of which dedicated to temples to the pantheon of holy. These are the holy gods of like charity and light and justice, you know, like all the like good attributed gods built temples up. Unfortunately, due to human instinct, that country has recently suffered from internal miscommunication and has become more a theocratic oligarch than it has a domain of worshiping good. So they are a very strict religious country. Not necessarily evil, very strict though. The main dispute between Yarning and Zarakoshi is this gate here, the Singer's Gate. This is a portal that sort of connects the world in this place over here called the Silent Oasis. And since the Civil War kind of splits the Singer's Gate right down the middle of the border, they're kind of disputing over this area specifically to see who's the quote-unquote legitimate country. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Next up is the Isle of Kyrium. Kyrium once was part of Zarakoshi, but after they began having more strict religious rules and not allowing them to worship other gods, a massive anarchy broke out on Kyrium, and as a giant middle finger to Zarakoshi, decided to unleash demons and devils onto their land. The demons and devils, who couldn't claim stake in hell, began forming roving gangs of outlaws, cowboy-esque, and just owning small, like, mini countries in Kyrium, leading it into the state of complete anarchy. They since separated from Zarakoshi because Zarakoshi kind of was like, we don't want to deal with you right now. You kind of fucked up big time. So Kyrium's on its own. It is a country ruled by gold, where cowboys are the only law, and devils and demons are sort of the outlaws who kind of rule the town, quote unquote. Yeah. It is cowboys and devils is the main theme of that area. Any questions?
So it's just like Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Like Texas.
I was about to say it, but I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, Kyrium's kind of funny. People born there can sometimes just be born into devil packs, and they kind of just have it from birth.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, you know, if you had an edgy OC where their village was burned down and they were born with a devil spark or some shit,
I am half Angle and half devil.
I thought you weren't supposed to share my securities.
Damn, what?
Damn, we're leaking already.
Stop
All right.
outing me, dude.
The next country we'll visit is over here in Pawning. Pawning is a collection of 64 small islands in a large archipelago. Each of the islands have their own unique core, which sort of has their own effect, which wildly changes the environment on each of the islands. Now, when I originally described this, I hadn't seen One Piece yet. And after I introduced it to my players who had seen One Piece, they told me, hey, this is exactly Luffy One Piece. And I said, I'm going to cry, but it's too late to change it. So this is One Piece Islands.
One Piece land.
It is inhabited by pirates, and it's a bunch of just random-ass islands where random shit happens.
Uh-huh.
All right, if we haven't seen One Piece, what's the
The general idea is that each of the islands, because they're so different, have developed their own cultures and have their own sort of ridges. As such, travelers between them has formed massive boat cities, like boats the size of cities, who just travel the islands and loot, plunder, and sort of claim domain over them. As such, a lot of islands will either be aligned with a certain boat nation, or they will just declare independence and have anarchy and be just attacked constantly by all the different pirates. It is a little back and forth here or there, but for the most part, the natives of the land are very spiritual. They have a good connection to sort of the spirits of nature, which is a big thing in Barosia. Spirits are very common, especially like nature spirits all over Barosia. You can ask one of my players, they ran into fire spirits more than they would like. Nature is alive in a response to music. Oftentimes, bards are revered because they control this music. So elemental spirits are like a big part of Barosia's environment. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Flashing up here, we're going to go to Dunar, which we've seen before, the 37 Dead Gamers.
Yes, of course.
You see, Dunar is a little fantastical place. The story goes, a horrific magical event occurred which scorched the land so bad that it turned it completely to sand. The sands, infused with magic, will oftentimes revive what is buried or create subjects. So constantly, ruins and temples and random artifacts will just be created sometimes and just show up and have like weird magical treasures that were created. So a lot of the environment here in Dunar is treasure hunters, people who just rove the desert looking for temples and ruins to claim, loot, and then eventually forget about. However, there are efforts to restore Dunar to how it once was. A lot of people believe that through enough druidic efforts, they're able to restore nature to its proper place. As such, a big thing in Dunar, specifically the leadership of Dunar, is druid circles who are helping the land return to how it once was, creating this massive oasis in the center, which connects the three cities.
So Shurima.
Yes, I understand that.
It's
League of
League
Legends.
but
League
yes.
of Legends.
Got you. No clue. But yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. All right. Next up here is Freyjenheim. Freyjenheim is split into two technically different countries, and we'll kind of get into that. On the left here, we have Oh, sorry. Any questions about Dunar?
No.
What are the three cities here? Are they like separate kingdoms, or are they just thriving?
Yeah, so these are the three major cities that exist. This is the copper city known as Copper Point. Copper Point is completely made out of copper. Its roads and walls were. It has a neighbor city in Faring, which is the Silver City. And then there is the Lost Golden City of... Yeah, El Dorado. It's real.
El Dorado's
here,
real?
El Dorado supposedly is real because there's a copper and a silver city, but they don't know where the gold city went. Over here, we have Eagle's Feather. Eagle's Feather is a somewhat floating city. The druids who run here are druids who specifically watch over sky spirits. And then over here, we have Dirtmouth, slight reference to Hollow Knight. It is a bit shabbier, but it is people who worship earth spirits. As such, they don't really believe in having homes. They all just kind of sleep under the stars. Most of the time, it's just open air markets and people who just don't have walls because they can kind of just create their own whenever they want it.
Neat.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yes. All right. Up here in Frasienheim, we have the major city Kalinarian. Control Shift D. Control. Hello. Please work. Please work. Never mind. All right. Kalinarian is a city comprised of dwarves and dragonborn. Dragonborn are people who have draconic blood. The dwarves once worshipped other gods, just kind of minding their own business, mining the earth, until the dragonborn, one fateful day, declared, "The dragons are coming back. They're no longer asleep. They're coming back, and they're going to kill us if we don't offer them large amounts of gold to resupply their horde." And the dwarves looked at each other, said, "We're not risking it," and established a massive trading empire and mining operation to build up massive amounts of wealth so that they will not be attacked by the dragons when they return. As such, the major religion here is of the three councils of dragons: those of the color, those of the metallic, and those of the crystal, sort of balancing each other out. The dwarves and dragonborn get along. It is a city of massive wealth. Typically, even the poorest of Kalinarian could be considered rich in most other countries. Kalinarian is just loaded due to how much, not inflated their economy is, but just how prevalent wealth is. Over here on the right side of things, we have the Forgotten North. The Forgotten North is a bunch of tribes who didn't want to go along with the dragon's ideas. They're like, kind of stinky. So they formed their own villages. It's ruled over by 4 family heads or clans who kind of shogunate their own sections. They kind of claim what is theirs and act as warlords, claiming small villages as their own. It is a collection of people who kind of believe what they will and receive protection from these shoguns. Additionally, up here is the Rangers Association. The Rangers Association is a collection of people who just want to find the truth, whether that is lost things, hidden knowledge, discovered treasure, whatever it is, they're looking for it. Think the Hunters Association from Hunter x Hunter. They are just people who go out and explore, and this is their main headquarters, is over here in the Forgotten North. Any questions?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you said dragonborns, you mentioned people with draconic blood. Is that a typical like D&D 5e dragonborn where
Yes.
they're like lizard people? Okay.
No.
The other question-
they are draconic.
Okay. The other question is, you mentioned that the dwarves were basically the dragons were like, "Hey, we need to give them gold to replenish their hordes."
Mm-hmm.
What expenditures do the dragons have?
Prophecy. Most of the religious heads of Kalinarian are just prophets or paladins or people who provide protection, oversee the churches, while the dwarves oversee most of the actual financial section of their main goal. The Dragonborn have a lot more resources in terms of might, so they kind of act as the police force, as the military, as just everything that they need, while the dwarves kind of work in the background, is their sort of symbiotic relationship.
So, with specifically the Dragonborns and the dragons are I'm sorry, I was under the impression the dragons are like kind of out of the picture at the moment, and they're saying
They
they are
are.
going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the Dragonborn are like, "Hey, we need money for the dragons," is it known where it goes?
To the deep mines, forgotten mines that have been deemed unusable by the dwarves. That is where they store the wealth. It is constantly attacked by thieves, and that is why supposedly the location
okay.
changes
That's-
every once in a
okay.
while. It is a massive concern that people are breaking into essentially the religious tithes.
And that is why they need to keep on throwing more money at it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
Ideally. That, and they don't technically know how much they need. They just know they need to offer a lot. So they're just better safe than sorry. All right, now we get to the furry king.
Wait. I have one more.
Yes.
Kind of important, kind of silly question.
Hey, you
So-
can't stop him there.
Does Friesenheim like speak in like German accents?
So yes and no. Dwarves, due to a previous player, have been canonically Scandinavian.
Scandinavian? Dang it.
Yeah.
Like the
but
Swedish chef?
Dragonborn have a variety of accents, sometimes German.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Understandable. All right. Down here in the tribes of My Heel. So My Heel isn't really a country per se. It is a collection of tribes. The tribes worship the great beasts who sleep. Things like the Phoenix, the World Tortoise, the Leviathans, the Sleipnir, which is the 8-legged horse of Odin. Right? They worship these great beasts of legends, and as such, they accidentally took on more animalistic tendencies than they would like to have hoped. As such, the people who worshipped the Phoenix grew wings and became Aarakocra. The people who worshipped Sleipnir grew horse bottoms and became centaurs. The people who worshipped Sekhet, the great lion, became Leonin. This is where the animal races are from D&D in my setting, right? So, like, if it's an animal race where it's like a part cat or a part bird or a part lion, they come here, and that's because they worship they came from a culture that worshipped one of the great beasts in the pasts. It is the main objective in Tribe of My Heel is just communal living. You stay with your tribe. You make sure the tribe succeeds. Very family oriented. Technically, the tribes get along and they have tribal council, and they help each other out when they can, but they're not each other's priority. That is all except for one tribe, which is the tribe of the Tritons. The Tritons worship the Leviathan and have control over a major port city in My Heel, which connects to Kingsport over here in Yarning. As such, it became a bit of a trading stop when you're going across this large bay here, where you kind of just stop by My Heel. And as such, the Tritons actually became very sociable and well working with a lot of the other countries. All right. So, beyond pawning, we have faring. Okay. Faring has been described as the place where Family Guy cutaway gags happen.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
What kind of intro is that?
What? Who starts a conversation like that?
Yo, we've got the divine paralogs.
So, you see, faring is a place where wild magic happens, and quite literally, no one fucking knows why. Portals will open up to other dimensions and steal children away, and there's nothing you can do about it. Fire will rain from the sky and plant seeds and create harvestable fire, and you have to say, oh well, guess that's my life now, I'm a magic farmer. As such, the ground is so potent with magic, wizards came and they're like, it's free real estate. And so they set up a bunch of wizard colleges here because of how potent the magic is. But that still doesn't resolve the issue that other dimensions show up, fuck around with mortals, and then leave, a la Family Guy cutaway gag. It is a frighteningly common occurrence
I don't like this
that
place.
children will get abducted by otherworldly entities and then reappear somewhere else on Barosia with amazing extraplanar power, or they just become psychotic. It is completely random. There is nothing you can control here, and a lot of the way of life is either trying to understand the randomness or just live life as you could. Yes, you can also make narcotics because of how potent the magic is. That is where most of the magical narcotics come from.
Oh hell yeah.
They have a drug problem.
So, is this where people get isekai'd?
Yes, exactly that. This is the isekai country. Children will disappear, have heroic adventures in another land, and then are returned somewhere else.
And on the topic of such things, you had mentioned oh my goodness, let me check the map on my end here. I'm still looking at the Razor Lake. In the tribes of My Heel, you had mentioned that. So are the what race did you say like the Leviathan worshippers?
The Triton.
The Triton.
Triton.
Is that a standard D&D class?
That is a 5e. That is a 5e race.
Okay.
That exists.
And so I noticed that you'd mentioned something about like that they worshipped the beast too much and became the Triton Thelianins and stuff.
Yes. In the past, those societies who worshipped the Leviathans took on fish-like tendencies and became the Triton.
Okay. So, but I can't blame the beast. Whatever. Do you?
Mankind knew.
Yes, they. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of like races and stuff, are you do you have like a finite set, or just that,
Every
like,
official book that is printed is allowed, with the exception of one of the more recent ones, which is the college books, because those are fucking bullshit and have stupid ass fucking spells and feats that should not exist in this game. What did you do, Wizards of the Coast? I'm going to find you. Past
they're
that,
in Renton, Washington, by the way.
yeah. But
I've been there.
beyond that, I mean, every other official printed book is okay. If you want to use homebrew, send it my way, and I will approve it if I think it's okay, as well as the homebrew document, which I have provided each of you, has all of my own homebrew goodness.
Got it. Okay. So expect the cat girl dissertation.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Second.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Final country that we're going to talk about over here is the Silent Oasis. The Silent Oasis is supposed to be a meeting place of all the countries where their singers' gates collide, and they create the harmonies. And this is supposed to be a land where there are no jurisdiction. It is a place where people can freely communicate. It's the hippie place. They do a lot of drugs and communicate with the songs of creation. They go insane because they weren't supposed to know the song of creation. And everyone develops schizophrenia who lives here for too long. As such, no one fucking goes here except to travel every once in a while.
Awesome.
It is a dangerous land.
Neat.
Does it work like Star Road in Super Mario World?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
Mhm.
Is it treated more like an island, like portal hub?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Okay,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
it is
So they're like
exactly
small
Star Road.
towns outside of portals where, you can buy things or you can like travel on things. There's major highways connecting them. And then there are technically villages, but you don't want to interact with them because you don't know what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
All right. That is the country of Barosia, or the continent
Yeah.
of Barosia. There is some other stuff that exists. As players, you would know of a far-off land known as Sorenstrad, which is a land which supposedly has gone through several wars and is recovering and has culturally sent over a lot of stuff. There's some traces of Sorenstrad culturally, which has been imported. There's also another land which haunts rumors of adventures known as Andalesium. Andalesium supposedly contains the most ferocious monsters, the most daring adventures, the most heroic challenges possible. Supposedly, it is a land of myth where heroicism abounds. Supposedly, and that's what you would know as players. So, with all that out of the way, any questions that you have just regarding any of these locations, regarding what you kind of want to do character-wise?
I
No.
have a question.
Sure.
Are the My Heel tribesmen allowed to like live in other places, or is this kind of we're stuck in our own like home turf situation?
So, the tribes of My Heel don't necessarily have to stay with their tribe. Often, several tribes actually have traditions where they send people out to be adventurers and see the rest of the world to see if being in the tribe is right for them. It is a common thing to send out adventurers from My Heel to do that. They prefer it, as family is a very strong tenet in My Heel, but it is not required to stay there.
Okay, neat.
Any more questions?
I'm sure they're going to come up during character creation, so I will just hold them for then.
All right, great. Awesome. Let's get to character creation. First off, I need you all to choose a JPEG.
Oh.
Oh.
Pardon?
Just any sort of JPEG that you have on your computer that will not get me banned. Just choose one of them and drag and drop it onto the map.
Does the size matter?
Just
Okay.
Just
All right.
any size if you want. Probably it
size.
won't crash my server unless
Okay.
it's like the 4 terabyte.
Let me see if this is even a.
Okay.
Okay, this is a JPEG. Here.
How do you do it? You just
Wait.
drag
Does
onto
it have to be a JPEG or can it be a PNG?
It can be a PNG as well.
There it is. There's my guy. He's
There it is.
Um,
There it is.
over here
And
by
it
pawning.
doesn't matter which one I choose.
It does not.
Oh my goodness. Oh, finally a
Good.
reason to
It's
use
right.
all these desktop
All right, we're
icons.
here.
There he is.
All right, where are you? Is that
How
Harada?
did you-
Yes.
How did you insert it again?
Just
drag
drag
and
and
drop
drop
it.
onto it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Mhm. From Allah.
Yeah, it's the one. I have it on my desktop. It was the quickest one I could get.
Where are you people? All right. Oh, where is it?
Dude, live
Is that
motion
live
reaction.
motion reaction?
It's the first DnD that I got.
Awesome.
Oh my
Where-
god, elbow.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
no.
Elbow. All right. So these are your tokens. These are going to contain your characters. Now, let's start off with building out your characters. And we're kind of going to be doing this pseudo round robin. I'm going to be helping you and guiding you, and we'll take this step by step. Feel good?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. First off, first thing that you're going to need to decide for your character is what do you want to play? How do you want to play? If you're not familiar with D&D, and you just kind of have an idea of something you kind of want to be able to do, I'll let you know what kind of class that is. If you don't know what classes are available, I can also run through those.
Do you have like a list of all of the
I
classes available?
do!
Nice.
They are on 5e tools, which I have provided to you, and I can also run through them kind of quickly and kind of explain their basic game plan.
What tools?
5e tools, it's in the resources tab that I gave you.
Yes.
5e tools is so based, but don't tell anyone that I'm using it. Hee points fingers. All right. All right. First off, Artificer. Artificer is the mechanic. You create magical inventions and magical artifacts, and you use them in combat. They have several different subclasses, including turning you into Iron Man, turning you into the engineer from Team Fortress 2, or giving you a dog. Those are the only options. Because technically there's an alchemist where you make potions, but that's so god awful that
It
no
is
one plays
bad.
It is so bad. Barbarian, you get really angry and you hit stuff. It has a bunch of easy damage because you just get angry and hit stuff better. Technically, you can choose subclasses where you become a furry, you become magical, or you become a piece of shit by choosing Bear Totem. Your choice, really. Bear Totem gives you essentially double your max HP because resistance to all damage is just really funny, I guess. Bards, they are musical and whimsy. They use music and songs or other forms of artistry to cast their magic. Most of the time, they focus on charming spells or spells that like woo crowds, but they are also CC monsters. You can do cool stuff like make people really uncomfortable by insulting them to the point where they fail their rolls, be so charming that people just automatically believe you, because why not? Or they can be massive fucking nerds and just know a lot of shit. Those are your options for Bard, kind of. Subclasses we'll get to. I'm going to start you guys at level 1, and I'm going to shoot you guys to level 3 somewhat quickly. Level 1's kind of the tutorial for people who are new. The Blood Hunter, which is a Matthew Mercer homebrew that I allow. Fuck Matthew Mercer. I fucking that guy. I'm going to find him. Anyways, Blood Hunter. I have resentment for Matthew Mercer, and I don't know why. The Blood Hunter is a class that I think is really cool just because it's really edgy. You are the Witcher from the hit series The Witcher, where you use your own blood to make your knives and swords magical. You can light your blood on fire or make it cold. You can also just curse people if you wanted to, because why not? It's a bunch of good fun. You also can create potions and make yourself have 26 max dexterity at level 5 because Matthew Mercer, what are you doing balancing? Anyways. Next, the Cleric. The Cleric are the good boys and girls. They are people who worship God and they get magic from it. They have the ability to create miracles. Their spells are often flavored as prayers or miracles that they perform. Now, I said that they were good boys and girls, but that's only specifically to their god. There's a small problem when you technically worship a chaos god or, a god of death, in which case you get to the little darker cleric sides. But for the most part, they get their power through loyalty. Druids are people who are aligned with nature. They have the ability to communicate with plants and animals. They cast spells that are themed around nature. They have great healing. They are just a druid. If you understand World of Warcraft, you kind of get what druids do. They are just good-natured folk. The fighter is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a person who is good at fighting. They are martial artist experts, being able to use any form of weaponry, as well as being able to use special techniques, often becoming samurai or battle masters, or the really funny one, which is Purple Dragon Knight. Trust me, it's good. Trust, bro, trust. Next up is the monk. The monk is also a martial artist, except they specifically focus on ki. They have the ability to use their ki to power up their fists, to heal, technically, to perma-stun enemies for some reason. Oh, they also have the ability to put instant death upon people, where if they fail a
Awesome.
saving throw, they instantly die.
Don't forget
if
that
you
they can turn into Daigo by like parrying missiles.
that is true. They do have parries. They can catch arrows and just throw them back.
God.
You can Evo moment 37 D&D. It's awesome. Next up is the paladin. Paladins are like clerics, except a little bit more beefy, we'll call them. You see, paladins get their faith specifically not through their god, but through their oath and their conviction to their beliefs. So the more committed you are to a goal, the more paladin you will become, eventually taking an oath, which is where they get their power from. They deal a fuck ton of damage. They have really high armor. They have a lot of health. They are a tank, but can also deal a lot of damage. Some call them the best class in the game. I'm not going to worry about it. Paladins are a little silly, or can get a little silly. That's all I'll say, if you build them correctly. Awesome. Let me change the music real quick, because I'm getting tired of Inkwell Hell. All right. Follow-up, once again, after the... Scoop. Okay. So, after the paladin is the ranger. Rangers have bows and arrows, and they track people, and they're really good at killing one specific thing only. They choose favorite enemies, and they're really good at hunting them. It's, it gets a little quirky, we'll call them, is the best way to putting it. They weaponize racism is another way people have put it. They are wardens of nature, technically. They're kind of like druids in that way, where they protect nature, but they're more explorers more than anything else. Rogues are just the catch-all. They are the duelist. They are the thief. They are the everything, because they are just character plus. They don't really specialize in anything. They're just kind of really good at doing a lot of things pretty good. Some of them do specialize into specifically doing stuff like assassination or thieving, but for the most part, it is just ways of being a better version of a standard person. It is just human plus, the best way to put it. A sorcerer, someone who's gained their magical power through being born better than everyone else. They are inherently gifted with magic, and as such have a limited spell count, but they are able to be very flexible with their casting, oftentimes casting multiple spells a turn, making their spells invisible and undetectable, or making it shoot super far and hitting some random person 300 feet away with a magic missile or something. It's pretty funny. Warlocks are like clerics if they were based. Warlocks have made a deal with their patron to gain magical powers. Oftentimes it results in them getting a 1d10 cantrip that levels up as they go, but oftentimes it does give them other benefits, like being able to dragon install, getting a cool magical teapot that they can hide inside, or just getting a really cool sword. I will be... spread my bias a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of Warlock. It's pretty kind of run into the same problem where you'll just kind of be using one tactic over and over again. But some people really do like it because technically there's a lot of variety. Technically. Play it at your own risk. I will warn you though, me personally, I think Warlock kind of falls off after level 5 because you just don't get anything after that. All right. And finally, the wizard. Wizards are nerds. They study their magic. They have a book. They have access to the highest spell county, which means they just know more spells than everyone else. But they're very rigid with their casting, and they can't really do much with it other than exactly what they practiced. As such, they are more utility casters who have a spell for every job, but they're not able to manipulate those spells too greatly. They are excellent researchers and specifically go into certain fields of magic. And that is kind of the class list. So, what were you all thinking classes that you wanted to play?
All right. I'll go
Don't
first.
worry. Follow one last thing because I kind of forgot. Do not worry about party balance. I will do my best to supplement your party balance. Play what you want.
Okay. I'll go first. Since I already picked this before you even listed all the classes.
Mhm.
I'm going Bard. I'm
Bard.
dead set on
Excellent. Very good.
Okay, I'll go next. I also thought I want to do a paladin. I already thought I didn't know they were the best in the game. I don't feel like I don't want to be tier whoring, but
Listen,
this is the one I thought.
They're just
Dude, Paladin is
very
top one.
hard
This
to
is
die.
fucking bullshit.
they're very hard. They're very hard to. Some people find them very hard to deal with. I
Yeah.
just force them to make saving throws every once in a while.
Okay. God dang it.
All right. Next, who has an idea?
I also didn't know Paladin was the strongest class, but I already wrote a custom oath, so I guess we're going with
Awesome.
that.
boy.
Dual pally. Let's go.
Oh.
That was wonderful.
2 paladins. 2 paladins.
Let's make it 3.
Honestly, yeah, no, I'm not going paladin. But as someone who's played a lot of D&D, I'm currently torn because there's so much potential in this world. But right now, I think I'm gonna I'm kind of edging towards thief just to make things funny.
You're
I mean
what?
rogue.
Funny thief rogue is I think what you're going for. All right, rogue. Awesome. I will tell you, slight party balance thing because it may be hard for me to deal with, and maybe a little in the future. Your healing potential is very low. You don't have a lot of healing, and you don't have a lot. You have a support class, but you don't have a lot of healing. That is all I will say on the matter, Shane.
What?
We don't have many healing classes because paladins
not a
can
lot of-
heal. That's
Paladins
not their main thing.
technically can heal, but their actions are spent doing so many other better things.
Oh,
than
Why would you
lay on
heal when you can
hands.
smite when you roll 20?
Why heal
Oh.
when you can end the conflict?
So,
Exactly.
So
Why
here's the
heal
thing. I'm just gonna put this out there. Typically, I play paladins. My last listen.
Too many
So my
paladins.
last
Pally,
character.
let's
Too
go.
many cooks in
Bro,
the kitchen.
Yo, the triple tank meta from Overwatch.
Oh my god.
God, no.
Oh, gross. I have a handful of characters that I have made for various like one shots and stuff, and I think one of the craziest that I had was a paladin with a it was like level 20, so I was like 13 classes of paladin, and then or 13 levels of paladin, 7 levels of rogue, because the bullshit defensive stuff you get by being a rogue combined with the high armor class of a paladin makes it so that nobody around you ever gets hit. It wasn't really intentional, but I thought it was cool. Relly, maybe you can help me out a little bit here. I typically like to play supportive characters. The entire reason I started playing Paladin in the first place was because I was supposed to be a guest star in a campaign, and I got adopted, right?
Awesome.
So I designed a character to just like help the party out. So it was like a silver dragonborn because they were in like an
Sure.
ice area.
Sure.
So since we already have 2 paladins, and you had mentioned we're like low on healing, what are the? I generally like to play characters that can do a variety of things.
Very good. If I had to suggest a healer who also has a decent amount of utility, I would recommend Druid. Druid is my favorite class. They're so based. They have a lot of access to all of the healing spells that clerics do, as well as other utility crowd control stuff, buffing stuff, and debuffing stuff. So they're utility casters, but also can spec into healing quite a bit.
Utility casters. So we've already got, I guess, a bunch of paladin stuff. We otherwise have no healers. Do druids have like any? Can a druid be like from anywhere?
Yep.
Like
No,
any country?
so
any-
yeah, so I'm not restrictive when it comes to classes. If you want to play a class and be from like a country, if you want to be a druid from Yarning, who am I to stop you? You know, you exist. So long as you can write a backstory, yeah, fuck it, go for it. I'm not gonna like lock you into anything. If you want to be a
Right.
tabaxi from Kyrium, like who am I to stop you?
So I guess I don't really have a great understanding of druids. Are they like always like warlocks have pacts and clerics have like deities and shit, and paladins have oaths. What do druids have?
Druids have circles.
That is true. Their subclasses are called circles. Specifically, druids call and ask upon nature to aid them. Due to their ability to speak to plants and animals, they can literally just call upon nature to aid them, asking plants to grow, asking animals to fight for you, asking the weather to bend to your will.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see here. I'm trying to. All right. Shit. I have to do this on the fly then, huh? Okay. I. What are other like support? I mean, rogues can do kind of anything, like you had mentioned, right?
Yeah. So rogues, while they can do everything, don't have healing because healing is typically locked behind magic.
Yeah.
There is a. I can. One of my friends did come up with a way for rogues to be healers, and that's by going into Thief Rogue. You have the ability to use medicine kits, and if you take a certain feat, you can actually heal with medicine kits. And because you can use items as a bonus action, you can essentially use 2 healing kits in a round to like have pretty decent healing in the early game.
Fast hands is
but
very good.
Fast hands is a very funny ability.
Many hands make quick work. Right.
Mhm.
So druids are like typically just like I've primarily done like fighter or not fighters, but I guess like
Yes,
mainly
druids
like,
are
physical,
spellcasters.
whatever. Okay.
Trust spellcasters are so based.
They are.
I was kind of
spellcasters are
hoping
my
to
favorite,
play a
and the
pretty
druids are so-
fucking normal person, honestly.
Spellcasters are very normal people.
They are.
Do not be gaslit by fantasy to be convinced that all wizards are super based. A lot of wizards are just broke college students who got paid their way and have a bunch of magical textbooks that they're just sleeping on.
Indeed.
All right, I'll try a druid.
Awesome. We'll go with druid. All right. Next up is your race. This is going to be one of the fantasy races. If you look in 5e tools, there is a race tab. The race that you choose will provide you stat benefits. It will provide you with an appearance outline, and it will sort of give you a general idea of typically how they're raised. Ignore that section because the world is unique to my own, and I have my own sort of shit. All right.
Okay.
So,
I already chose
do
mine, if
you-
that's all right.
Oh, you've already chose yours. Very
Yeah.
good. What is it?
I want to be a changeling.
Changeling Bard. Excellent. Excellent. Ideal. Changelings are shapeshifters, ones who are able to change their face at any moment. Chris, did you have an idea for a race, or would you like me to go through them?
I do have. I was gonna be boring. I am gonna be boring and just be a human.
Humans
probably.
are so based. Humans are so
based. What
based.
do you mean?
Humans are so based.
Okay,
Humans are
okay,
so based.
Okay, thank you.
Humans
But
are
I
cool,
would
don't
like
worry
to
about it.
mention. I would like to mention. I remember looking into these before, and the grung are like frog people, and I love them so much.
Yes!
They are frog
No!
people who will like feed you like slop and gruel until you're like a husk of a person, and they will
No.
enslave you. Is
No.
what I remember.
Boxes, I know you're in the chat. I know you're in the chat. Do not mention anything about fucking Grungy. I will find you and rip your throat out. Do not talk about Grungy. Do not mention their name. They are dead, okay? Dead! Anyways,
I'm
humans
not
are-
gonna play the grung, but I'm gonna play a human. But I just wanted to mention that they're
Grunts are
they're
so
so funny.
So are you going? So there are 2 different versions of humans. There are humans which gain +1 to all stats, or there are variant humans which only get +2 to stats, or and they get access to a feat, which is like a special ability.
Mhm.
Variant human is just infinitely better than regular human. That's just my opinion, though. Hey, listen.
Does it like change in appearance in any way? What's
No,
the-
No.
it is literally just
it's literally
better
just
human.
better,
It's
better human.
human.
I will
Better
take
human
better.
or
Why would
regular
I?
human?
Why would I not take better human?
What a great question. Why would anyone ever play normal human when variant human exists?
Yeah, I think I'll take variant human.
Awesome.
So what you're telling me is you have a feet fetish.
Yes. Anyways,
no,
so
Oh
no,
my
do
God.
not put that on my record.
all right. Do you guys, people who are somewhat more new, do you need me to run through fantasy races for you?
I am also going to pick variant human, so no.
So based, so real.
Probably sticking
Basically,
with the
anything on
box.
anything on 5e tools, the list is basically like
Mhm,
it's free
mhm,
reign,
mhm.
right? Okay.
Yep.
I'm going with Tabaxi because I like running fast.
So
I
no,
can't
Tabaxi
believe that there's
rogue.
not a cat girl race.
Well,
Wait, for
Tabaxi-
real? Oh.
No,
Yeah,
Tabaxi are the cat girl race. What do
Okay,
you
but
mean?
like
Yeah.
Khajiit and cat girl are like different.
Okay,
You know
okay.
that's fair.
Here's the thing. I have a friend named Chris. I'm gonna name drop you because fuck you. You're probably in chat. They play a lot of Catboys. It is a known trend. They always play Tabaxi. Listen, all I'm saying is if you wanted to play a cat girl, Tabaxi is the way to go. You can flavor it however you want. Who am I to stop you, you know?
Man.
Also, somewhat unrelated. This might be a bit too late to ask, but is it too late to reclass?
No, if you want to change, if you have another idea, go for it.
All right, because this is the first time I've actually even seen Artificer, so I'm switching to that if that's all right.
Artificer is
I love
fun.
Artificer.
Nice.
Artificer is so much fun. I
One less paladin in the world.
it's so real. I give a lot of leniency to Artificer, because you have the ability to create magical things. If you have an idea for a magic item, if you have an idea for a machine, send it my way. I will give you a list of materials you need to find in session. You get those, we're gaming.
Nice. All right.
There's so much power in your hands. I want to let you know. I give a lot of Artificers are fun. Race from you.
I mean, if I'm going Artificer, Artificer, might as well go Warforged, right?
Oh, that is okay. Okay.
Oh
okay.
wow. Okay.
Okay.
Can I build myself? Is that possible?
So I mean,
yeah.
if
Have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah, I can allow that. I can allow you have assembled yourself and put your soul in a machine.
Nice.
You know, the Warforged lore. Actually, the Warforged lore for this world is that Kalinarian, because they don't want to bury their dead, they would rather have you continue serving into the afterlife. You can opt to give your family a large, substantial, monetary exchange for using your body to be the core of a Warforged, which will then serve as a public servant. If you wanted to, you could 100% be someone who was I willingly became a Warforged to prolong my mind. I would 100% allow that.
So like a robot
Really
lich.
You said that
Yeah.
was in the Culinarian faction?
Yeah, Kalinarian.
Right.
So up in Frasienheim.
Right, Northwest, got it.
Mhm.
All right.
All right. So the next thing, and this one is unique to my world. If you open up the homebrew document that I've given you all, there is a section which is known as Origin, or Birthplace. I forget which one I 100% named it. Your birthplace gives you benefits. Due to your upbringing, you are given special abilities, certain special abilities. Let me see if I can pull down a page number since I think my things got reset for whatever reason. Okay, that is my dancer bard. Okay, circle effects is carved. All right, birthplace. All right, so on page 45. On page 45, you can select an origin of which you have something like a birthplace. So if you say are born in my heel, you gain a proficiency in animal handling, as well as getting a +1 of Constitution. Not only that, but then you have your sub-origin, which is a more specific way you lived in that country. So let's say that you were a hunter for your tribe. You are a beast hunter, which means that you get a +1 to dexterity, and you get to roll advantage hunting specific animals. Or maybe you were a mountain-born and you lived on the high peaks, and you get a climbing speed as well as an additional strength. So tying yourself to a country is very important, as it is part of building your character, but is also part of tying you to the world. It is what ties you and starts you off on your backstory. So with that, birthplaces. What you thinking?
I mean, I'm Pawning Islands.
Pawning Islands.
Obviously, I've got to go Pawning Islands.
Sub-origin, if you have already considered one.
God, I don't know what a sub-origin would be. I guess I'm an entertainer.
All right. The sub-origins for Pawning are the hardy sailor, the ocean blessed, the islander life, the stowaway, the storm sailor, and the tribal warrior. If you were just an entertainer, I would probably say islander life is probably the best for you.
Okay, we'll go with that.
It gives you an additional language to an outer plane, so that is going to be like the plane of fire, water, wind, and earth, as well as giving you proficiency with nature.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right. So I'm making a Tabaxi rogue.
Yep.
I think Shadow Stalker and my heel would be best. Maybe, probably.
All right.
I'm thinking I'll go Texas. I'll be an outlaw in Kyrium.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Base Kyrium enjoyer. Sub-origin, if you have one.
Outlaw with the mountain, the firearms.
Very good. Yeah, you get a horse. You get to start off with a
Yep,
horse.
I get a
That's so
horse.
based. And you get to learn how to use guns. All right,
Yeah.
Shane and Rickett.
You can go first. I'm still thinking.
I'm going for. Man, I feel like I'm gonna butcher this every time. Friesenheim, birthplace. And
Alright.
for suborigin, let's see. Swarforged Artificer. Let's go with the Gara clan.
Gara clan. Awesome. Would love to hear it. All right. And Shane.
So this is I actually know what I want to do for this. I want to do fuck, what happened to the page? I wanted to do the one that starts with a Y and sounds like yarning. And I was gonna do World Tree Villager.
Yarning World Tree Villager. Nice. All right. World Tree Villager. Very good. Not many picked that one. But it's very good. Well, no, it's a good one. A lot of people just don't like being from Yarning because they like to be quirky little cuckoos. And they think the human country is boring and lame. The human country is base. And
I'm from the fucking Midwest.
So real. But it actually is very good for healers. It gives you a +1 all healing. All right. Now, final section that I need for character creation, and then we'll get into crunching numbers after that as we kind of just make conversation, is your background. Your background is another specific way of which you have lived. If you go to the background section, you can see a whole lot of them. Salty, I imagine you're going for the entertainer.
Yes.
Because that is a, yep. Awesome.
Where's the background section? Is it
Should be on
5e
the home.
tools.
Yeah, on 5e tools.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, God.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I can point you to a few of them, which I think would work, at least from what you have described so far. There is something like the Sage, which is someone who has studied for a long time. There is the Faceless, which is just a drifter who does not exist. There are the Athlete, which are people who were just sportsmen basically before. The Sailors, the Soldier, or the Urchin. Just however your life was led up until this point.
Well, there sure are a lot of them.
There are very, very many.
There is a lot of them.
Fuck. Man, look at all these words I've never heard of before.
So real.
Ooh, there's a charlatan background.
There is a charlatan. There is one where you're just like, I was a con artist. I was having fun. You get fake goods that you can sell, as well as a fake passport.
What? This it sounds cool, but what can you tell me about the Boros Legionnaire?
Oh,
the
boy.
Boros Legionnaire is from the Magic the Gathering extension of.
Okay.
D&D
Okay.
I
Edition.
actually ran fucking Ravnica campaign. The Boros Legionnaire is basically a soldier from Ravnica itself. And
Okay, so is it not in main D&D then? Is it...
unfortunately, yeah, it's not in main D&D, unfortunately.
Technically
and
not.
Okay.
Probably
cool.
not in here too.
Yeah,
So
You
No.
get access to spells with this back? No.
Yeah,
fuck this.
yeah.
No, you don't get that shit. No.
I mean,
it's
it's
I knew it was,
Ravnica. It's a
I knew
magical
it was
city
too
of
good to be
course.
true.
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
it was too good to be true.
Like everybody's supposed to do magic in Ravnica, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
whatever.
It
Alright.
sounded cool.
hmm
I think I'm just gonna stick with Clan Crafter.
Okay.
I know it has nothing to do with any of the other things I've already mentioned, but I'm gonna go with a gambler background.
Gambler. Very
Gambler.
good. Hey, look. You're going to make it work. I trust you. I trust that you're going to create an awesome backstory for this.
You put way too much trust in me, but that's okay.
What were you thinking, Chris and Shane?
Still thinking.
What? Fuck. I know what. Like, I have a general idea of the kind of like character I want to make and stuff. I just don't know what background aligns with. I'm thinking that I'd want to go with a background that involves, I guess, I don't know. What would you call like somebody who's like really just doing their best, you know? Just trying to get by and support
folk
support
hero?
their-
Folk hero is one of those just a good-natured people who do their good deeds and people like them. They're so amicable that people invite them into their homes.
Yeah.
A courier is someone who just travels around delivering messages and just travels the land, does what they can. Technically, a criminal could fit that as well. You know, someone who's
I'm gonna
necessarily
go with
not
folk hero. The folk hero
Folk hero?
background.
very
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Right.
And then here, there's the Knight of Solemnity and the Knight of the Order. What are those two also not main D and
Let
D
me
or
double check. Typically, the weird named ones are typically not
Probably not,
main book.
I would like to know regardless.
Knight of the Order. Knight of the Order looks fine. Family Knighthood and Order. Those are some protections. If your order is a religious one, you can gain aid from temples. Oh, so it's like folk hero, but specifically for temples. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
can do Knight of the
I
Order.
think I'll do that one then.
All right.
Keeping with the,
All
the
right.
paladin stuff.
Let me go ahead. I'm going to repost this. I probably misspelled a lot of shit. But we're not going to worry about it. I'm going to put it into resources. These are all the character descriptions that you have so far. So now we're going to do stuff with these JPEGs that you dropped or TNGs, whatever. Go ahead and I'm going to attempt to show this. I might not be able to, and we might not worry about it. First off, I'm going to do this. Okay. So double click on your token if you could.
Okay.
I'm going to drag and drop one myself really quickly. We're just gonna drop a fucking, I don't know. Here's Erica, I think. Yeah, we're just gonna drop an Erica. Boop. There she is. Awesome. All right. Double click on your token and go to configure.
Config.
Configure or config?
Or just config.
Okay.
Apologies.
Yeah, we're good.
Config. Now go to shape. Change that to top down.
Yep.
Size, you're going to keep as medium since you're all playing medium creatures. And then properties, you're going to look at this long list and you're going to choose the class that you selected.
Gotcha.
Can we change our class later if we feel a little?
Yes,
indecisive?
I do allow for like class respecing within
Okay.
reason.
Got it.
mhm. Yeah, if it's like every session you're changing class, I'm like, oh, maybe slow down a bit. But like if it's like every once in a while, you're like, I don't
Sure.
feel like
And
this
no,
fits.
I'm just not. I gotta figure out exactly what I want to do. I think
For sure.
I have a better idea for like what I want the character to come from than what I want them to function as within combat.
Mhm.
So we'll see. All right, cool.
That's fair.
So there's the class.
All right, so once you have chosen your class, I'm going to build a fighter for this instance. You're going to go to properties. Properties is going to give you a whole list of stuff. As you scroll down, you'll eventually see a little marker that says, don't worry about it. Don't fucking worry about it. That's my shit. Don't touch that shit. It's mine, okay? It's mine. Don't worry about it. Everything else is yours to adapt. So if you go on to, are you on the properties section of your token?
Yes, I am.
You'll see character details, character statistics, and skills should be like
Yes.
what you immediately see. All right, very good.
Oh, the
if you
okay,
go-
okay.
Yeah, if you go onto 5e tools, go to classes and select your class. On just beneath that list of classes, there's going to be a little square, which is going to have the title like hit points, proficiencies, and starting equipment.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to be filling out for now. For character details, you are all level 1. You're going to input the race that you chose. So, changeling, variant human, so on and so forth. Your origin, and that is going to be the origin that you chose. You can just put the country you're from, or you can put country plus sub-origin. Doesn't matter to me. I have that notated. And then pantheon and god. If you choose, you can choose to align yourself to one of the gods of my world, and I can give a brief overview of them. Or you can just choose to be agnostic and not worry about the deities at all.
So origin is our birthplace.
Origin is the birthplace that you chose, yes.
Okay. Oh, I actually know what I want to do for the Pantheon.
Oh, very good.
Let's see, Pawning Islands.
You know what the worst thing is? I just read. I know it's probably not supposed to be pronounced this way, but I read Mater Superbus.
It's Mater Superbus. It's Latin
Yeah.
for Supreme Mother.
Wait,
But
where are the gods?
It's up at the top, right underneath the map. You'll see Gods of Barovia. There are 6 pantheons: the Pantheon of Beginnings, the Pantheon of Law, the Pantheon of Holy, the Pantheon of Endings, the Pantheon of Chaos, and the Pantheon of the Fiendish.
Wait, where?
If you go to the homebrew
top, I
document,
think.
Homebrew doc.
Towards
at the very top.
Oh wait, on your. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, on mine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Quick question, and it's all right if you say no, right?
Mhm.
But can I set my god to Jesus to reflect my own religious background? I can be a little crazy, but
So, okay, I have a story for you.
oh, okay.
Oh boy.
That's a great answer already. All right.
Very
the
good
ongoing bit was a lot of people said, like Jesus Christ, they would say shit like that.
Yeah.
And the ongoing joke was that, like, who's Jesus? Like, what the
Mhm.
fuck
Yeah.
are you talking about, right? Because, whatever, fantasy
Yes.
world. I believe it was a character named Julius, whose main character inspiration was Alex Jones.
Oh boy.
No! What?
Where are you going
Oh,
with this?
where are we going? What have I gotten myself into?
At some point, Julius said,
Goddamn motherfucker.
"Oh, I know Jesus. He was that cult leader who existed in Dunar.
Oh
He
no.
was a pretty okay guy." And so whenever someone would ask who's Jesus, he would be like, "Oh, I know. I know Jesus." It would always be the response, and they would just like make up some story about him in canon. And somewhere along the lines, it became canonized.
Oh boy. Can I
Can
just want
we
my
not?
I just want my guy to walk around with like a Bible and read
okay.
it every now and
That's
then.
completely fine.
Okay, so what's the basic rundown of Sophie?
Sufi. Let me.
Kai the Radiant. Oh, not Kai the Radiant.
I'm
Yeah,
putting
Sophie.
down
No, right,
Jesus
Sophie. Yeah.
in the religion section.
Kai the wait, Sophie. Wait,
Yeah, Sophie.
Sophie. What the fuck? How did I read Sophie? Oh, Sephi.
Oh,
Wait, Sephi.
am I spelling it
Maybe.
right? Saying it
Wait,
right?
which one?
Deity of creativity and passion.
Oh, them.
Oh.
What?
It is so.
You said it with such malice.
This has been okay. So the character, the player who I just told you made Alex Jones.
Oh
God.
no.
How are these
So-
all related?
So I've ran for 6 years a lot of characters in this world, and some people who have played on higher difficulties have reaped somewhat great rewards and have become deities in my world. Sophie was one of those. Sophie was an inventor, technically.
I'm an inventor.
They only knew how to invent weapons of mass
Oh
destruction.
no.
Wonderful.
That's
Wait.
Sophie, while currently is a god of creativity and expression and gives a lot of wonderful, like, creative efforts, there is always, sometimes, a slight tinge of, I was thinking about this rail cannon that could shoot metal spikes at like 500 miles per hour.
No.
Just every once in a while.
I see.
What?
Was Sophie an
Um,
What
artist?
kind of world are we being dropped into?
A world in which players have had so much freedom that they have become
What
gods.
more are you not telling us?
Okay.
So much. There is so much.
okay.
I haven't even gotten to dwarven child murder yet.
No.
Excuse
I thought
me.
wait. No, they were talking about that in the chat earlier. I thought they were joking.
No.
Oh my god.
Okay. What about Kai the Radiant?
Kai the Radiant.
I hope he's normal.
Is that anything like Kyle Kiske?
Good old
Kyle
Kyle
Kisaragi.
Kiske. Let's go.
Kai the Radiant is the god who is the bringer forth of the morning. He is the ex-husband of Arborea, which
Mhm.
is, pretty cool. They went through a rough streak for a while. And is known for bringing the fire of life and healing flames into the light of those who would worship him. I am going to refrain from explaining anything else about Kai because it would take a little too long.
All right.
Okay, what about
You know what?
Magius?
I like the idea of healing flames. I'm gonna go with Kai.
Awesome, Kai the Radiant.
Yeah, Kai's cool. What about Magius?
Magius. Magius,
Magius.
Magius is the god of the forge. He is a immortal fire spirit who exists within the forge of all craftsmen, typically represented through an orange cat. He is the god responsible for good work days and the ability to process metals, oftentimes being representatives of crafting guilds.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wait. Speaking
I'm
of
so-
origins, so I come from my heel, but is it okay if my cats, I guess that's what they're called here, is like spent most of their life in what's that place called again? The dwarf fort place?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Cool.
Origin is just where you're from. That's just like where your childhood was. If you like in your teenage years moved to Kalinarian, yeah, 100%. Go for it.
Sure. Cool.
Once that has been established, now, once your level, race, origin, and pantheon or god has been established and typed into your map tools, hit OK. It will close your window, but it will save your process.
So what are we supposed? So we've typed in our race, the outlaw. Do I have to put in my name as well? Or actually-
No, that's I'll do that on your token.
Okay.
You're not going to see this, but throughout the week, I am going to be programming each of your character sheets.
Okay.
Cool,
So
gotcha.
race, origin, pantheon, god, right?
Mhm.
Is there anything else I need to do?
Once that's established, you hit OK, and it will save your process.
Cool.
I see that Tigris has already done their character or their stats.
Just
Thank
the
you very much.
stats, not the skills.
Have you done? Did you follow my process for stats?
Yes, I did.
Okay, very good. Awesome.
Custom rules.
Very good.
I didn't see the box you were talking about that details where the stats come from.
We'll get those. All right. So once you
Okay.
click again, you go into properties. Double click it again. You'll get character statistics, which is underneath character details.
Yeah.
You'll see something that says strength score, dex score, con score, intelligence score, wisdom,
Yep.
charisma. Awesome. Time to determine stats. There is a link called Chicken Dinner, which is a point by calculator for you all, so you can determine your stats in the game. There are two variant humans. No, there's one.
There are.
There are two. There are two variant humans with feeds. Chat
Yeah.
member. All right. So open up Chicken Dinner. You are then going to.
Is this in the
tab.
resources
Um,
tab?
Yeah, resources tab.
Mhm. Chicken dinner.
Oh yeah, I already
Chicken
think I
dinner.
did mine.
Yeah. Make sure you follow the custom rules. You just go
there it
to
is.
custom rules. You make the available points 31, maximum 16, minimum 7, and then you go back to calculator.
So available points is 30,
31,
31, and then maximum is
16,
16,
minimum 7.
7. Gotcha.
All right. So now you get a point by. You get to click the up and down arrow until your total points equals 31 out of 30, and that will be your score. I will run through what the scores are in case you don't know. Strength. Dexterity, your ability to move. It's your nimbleness. It's how quick you are on your feet. Constitution, your ability to stay alive. It is the thing that determines how much health you have. Intelligence, how much you know. Wisdom's what you do with what you know. Charisma, your ability to be charming. Smile.
Okay.
Some classes, their spellcasting is determined by one of these specific stats. For paladins, primarily their spellcasting is charisma based. However, they often use swords, which means you need strength. So you want to prioritize strength and charisma. For a bard, their spellcasting is charisma, but they're also needing to be light on their feet. So they prioritize charisma and dexterity. Tiger, sorry, knows this. Rogues prioritize dexterity and often one other stat. I believe he chose charisma. They prioritize dexterity. For an artificer, they are intelligence-based casters, so you want to prioritize your intelligence. But they also need to be somewhat hardy, as they can sometimes tank. So you want to prioritize constitution and intelligence. And then for druids, as they are able to communicate with nature, they are wisdom casters. They also have a lot of freedom because you can kind of choose anything else that you want to spec into and prioritize in terms of stats. So go ahead and determine those as you see fit.
And then do I have to
You
put
say
my
it should be out of
my
31?
race in there?
Yeah, it should be
Yeah, out of
30.
31.
It's at 27 for me.
And do I have to select my
so
race?
there should be custom rules where you can change that.
Oh, okay.
And then do we put it into our token?
Yep, and then you'll put it into your token, and then I will apply your. I guess for some of you, I actually need to determine your Rachel bonuses for your
I
stats.
can-
And
Yeah, am I allowed
So
to
already
tone?
added
31,
those.
16, 8 for the custom rules.
Yeah, 31, 16 max, 7 minimum.
7 minimum.
Okay.
You can be dumb. Remember,
So I can.
intelligence of 5 is the borderline for literacy.
Okay.
I
so
actually have a
I can-
barbarian. I have a barbarian in a different campaign that has 7 intelligence. His motto is, "I may not know much."
Awesome.
So can we tone down some of these and get more points to
Yeah.
put into other
Yeah,
things?
If
Okay.
you're like, I'm going to be dumb as bricks, lower
Okay.
that intelligence.
What is the
Yeah.
minimum charisma before people attack me on site or treat me
10?
very terribly?
So at a 10 charisma, you are the normal guy. You're not necessarily someone people want to talk to, but they're not gonna like avoid you.
Okay, it's
By
at
the time
8
you
right
start
now.
getting
What
to,
is
like,
that? What is that gonna
8
affect?
is like, oh, best to just, it's it's just
Okay.
him left at the function. Yeah, I guess we can head out. Oh, you invited us? Yeah, we'll see if we're busy.
Uh-huh.
It's like mild discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like the average for every stat? Like, let's say a 10 is just
Yeah,
average.
10's
10
average.
is average. 10 is just minimum.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
10 is a commoner has a 10 in everything. They are average.
Okay.
Oh, Not too smart, not too dumb, etc.
Let's just bop that up there. And what about Constitution? What would so 10 Constitution means?
You
Then-
basically just get your hit points worth of hit points. You get
Okay.
all the hit point per hit point. That's it.
I will be returning. Do not say anything sussy.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it. Also, Constitution is the stat that you use to not get poisoned. So
Right. Yeah, I know that.
It-
So like, I'm trying to think what's the minimum constant. What's the minimum of all these stats I can have so I can max out a couple other things.
I'm
The answer is
min-maxing right
7.
now.
never,
Okay.
never dump
Never go below-
Constitution. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Okay. What? Wait, what? Never what Constitution?
Do
Never
not
dump it.
dump Constitution.
If you're
That is not a
min-max-
dump stat.
If you're min-maxing, make sure that the min is not Constitution.
Okay, of
Exactly
course.
right.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
What was the
Allow me to tell you about Grungy the Frog, who had a 6 at Constitution.
Oh no! I thought you said you didn't want to talk about him.
I don't. Fuck Grungy.
Oh my
No.
god. Speaking of 6 Constitution, I had a wizard who had 6 Constitution at one point. They were a Blade Singer wizard, so no one could hit him because I had like 25 AC at a time. But a giant managed to crit him once, and he almost like got outright killed in one hit.
Just
Not got KO'd,
obliterated.
killed in
Awesome.
one hit.
Awesome. Obliteration. So based.
Low Constitution isn't fun.
what was the difference that you mentioned between intelligence and wisdom?
Intelligence is how much you know. Wisdom is what you do with what you know. Wisdom means that you're more apt on picking up social cues. You're more apt on figuring something out. While intelligence is just you've read a lot of books. You know a lot of facts. You know just what something is. Wisdom is you figure out what something is.
Gotcha.
All right.
Is there a limit to the kind of weapons that a druid can use?
Druids primarily focus on simple weapons, so that's everything to like a short sword to like a club. Anything more advanced than that, they're kind of clueless.
As a druid, though, you
So-
typically wouldn't want to bring metal around because you can't cast spells through metal.
Yeah, you do cast a lot of lightning. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
All right. Once it has all been, your scores have been submitted. Hit enter or hit OK.
Oh, I didn't set
it'll-
my race. Do I set human there then?
Yes, set very human there. And once that has been submitted, then you'll
And what about this
Yeah, we'll save,
ability score
and then we'll add your
scores?
racial
You don't do
bonuses
anything
and
with
your
those, right?
origin. We're gonna get to the racial bonus and origin bonus to your stats in just a second.
Okay. And you want me to enter those into the
well,
the token?
Yeah, we'll do that once it's saved. We're blocking this off just so you understand the process.
Okay, cool.
Once everything has been worked out, hit OK. We're all good.
No.
Oh. What are
I'm
you- what are
still
you saying?
trying to decide how I want to. Can I? Do you say I can respec these later, or just classes?
If you want, I can give you a little bit more time to figure out stats throughout the week.
Okay. I'm just gonna try something, and then I will think about it more later.
So I'll just work with you later to get your stats
Yeah,
figured out
okay.
right now. But I'm
Um,
just gonna keep
yep,
working if
yep.
that's okay. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Let me. look this up.
Okay, next, open up your token again. Now we're gonna add your racial bonuses. Wahoo! Something like that. All right. So for a Warforged, let me double check what you get. Warforged, all the way at the bottom. Cursey being
I
double. All right.
believe they get one of two forms. Don't they?
No, there's only one Warforged. All right, Rickon,
What's up?
open up your character sheet.
Yep.
After you've submitted your things,
Right.
add a +2 to your Constitution.
Oh, the calculator adds this already, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't add your race. It just that is your base stats, and then your race adds more points to it.
There's a total score column that adds a racial bonus to it. I was wondering if that was.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, you already selected your race from the top. Okay, yeah,
if you
gotcha.
if you already did
Yeah.
that from the top, then yeah, we don't need to worry about nothing.
Okay, yeah.
To the variant humans, you get to add
Yeah.
+1 to 2 stats.
Yes.
Choose as you may. You can just add a +1 to 2 stats, or you can add a +2 to 1 stat.
Is this something that needs to be
Nope.
done?
Like I said, because you haven't decided your base stats yet,
Yeah,
I'll
okay,
work
sure.
with you throughout the week.
All right, cool. Wait.
Okay. So +2 to one stat and plus.
Yes, I believe you have a +1 to charisma and a +2 to something.
It says I have +2 to charisma.
Oh, okay, got you. So yeah, +2 to charisma and then a +1 to something else. All right.
Gotcha.
Once that has been decided, now you get bonuses based off of your origin, and that's from me, Smile. And I'll run through these really quickly to give you what bonuses you need. First off, we're going to start with pawning. Gara Clan. All right. First off, Rickon,
What's up?
you get a +1 to health for each level. So notate that down. And you also get proficiency in survival. So no stat increase. I will mark this in your notes section that you can see.
Notes section. Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Gara Clan, so you have +1 health for every level, and then you get proficiency in survival. In addition, you get advantage on saving throws versus charm or fear. And you learn 1 cantrip. All right, once that has been saved, hit OK, and it will save, and you should be good to go stat-wise.
What was the last one there? Sorry, again?
Oh, you get to learn 1 cantrip, which is a 0th level spell.
Right. Thanks.
Just a quick question. I'm just making sure. It started me out with 8 on all of the stats when I
Yep.
was creating. Okay,
It was
good.
supposed to.
Okay, good.
All right, for you had a. All right, Kyrium. Kyrium gets you $1.
Nice.
Awesome.
Wait, what?
No. All right. No, it's kind of. All right. So add a +1 to your Constitution,
Okay, cool.
and then you get 200 gold to start.
That's a lot of money.
Yes. And because you're an outlaw, you get a horse and proficiency in firearms.
Yeah.
Notate those in your notes section. Hit OK, and it should save.
Where's the? Is it okay? Notes.
It should. Yeah, notes.
Oh,
There you go.
so,
All right. Changeling. We already added that, but you are an islander. Island life. So, go ahead, Salte. There. You add a +1 to your charisma,
Oh hell yeah!
and
Alright.
notate that you get a 20-foot swim speed, which is 5 feet faster.
Wait,
than
where's the
everyone
note
else here.
section?
It should be when you double click. There should be notes, GM notes, and properties.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so notes. So mark that you have a 20-foot swim speed, and then add a +1 to your charisma score in your properties.
Wait, hold on. It's not letting me type anything in GM notes.
Yeah, that's mine.
Oh.
You get notes. I get GM notes. GM notes. is
Oh,
where
okay.
get
Wait,
to,
I
like-
see it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, GM notes is where I get a shit talk
The
you
20-foot
on your
swim
token.
speed.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool.
so it was a +1 to my charisma, right?
Yeah. No. Yes. It
Okay.
was +1. To. No, it was +1 Constitution. For you, I believe.
Constitution, my bad.
Yeah, all good. Gonna double check that right now. All right, and then because you had Islander life, you get to choose a elemental language. So that's fire, water, earth, and air. You can choose whichever those you desire.
You know what? Let's go with fire because I'm already with the Radiant Dawn guy.
Awesome. And then go ahead. So that is Pyren technically, but you can just notate
Pyren?
fire language.
Okay.
Pyren is the fire language. And then you learn the nature skill, so proficiency in nature. Tigress, I believe you have already taken care of this, maybe?
I did. Don't worry.
Did you add your origin? Very good. And then for you, Shane, you choose another one, but once again, we'll add that in once you've decided your base stats.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Next, we get to choose skills. Ooh, boy. So if you go to your class, make sure you hit OK to save your stats and stuff every time. Mainly just because I don't think Chris is saved. Everyone else is fine.
No, I got
I don't think Chris is saved.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. Very good. There it is. All right. So next, double open and go to your class. Once again, look at the class that you have. You got to choose some starting skills. Whoa. Which is going to be awesome. It's going to be so cool.
Or are we looking at class? Or are we looking at class on the token?
On
or-
5e tools.
Right.
5e tools.
Right.
Go to class, choose Artificer for you, Paladin, Bard, and Rogue, and Druid as well.
Wait.
You should see... Oh,
Where do you find your skills?
so once you've selected on the little drop-down Bard, are you there?
Yeah, I'm in Bard.
So it'll say hit points, and then proficiencies.
Hit point. Oh, I see. Okay.
So for you, oh, you're awesome. All right. So
I
as a
know.
bard, you get a choice of every single skill. You get to choose 3 of them. Whatever skill
Okay.
you choose, you put a 1 next to it, and that says that you're proficient in it. And you get
Okay.
to choose any of them. You get to choose. You get 3 proficiencies out of the entire list. For an artificer.
And wait, so the proficiencies are like my strength, wisdom, charisma thing?
No. Proficiency is its own thing. It's determined off your level. It is your just general adventuring experience. It adds to your skills. So you'll always roll dexterity with your acrobatics, but if you're proficient, then you add an extra bonus, which is hard-coded into here, so you won't have to worry about it. It just means that you're better at those skills than normal. You're proficient.
Oh, wait, I just put that in like the notes section.
Yeah, no.
Wait,
In properties.
properties.
So in
okay.
properties, underneath character statistics, you see the little thing that says skills?
Yeah. Wait.
All right.
Characters. Skills? Where?
Keep
Skills is below character statistics.
Oh wait,
On
I know. I see it
properties,
now.
yeah,
Okay,
it's the
so I just
category,
put
yeah.
+1 into any of them, into 3 of them.
You just put a 1. So you
Okay.
change the 0 to a 1 if you're proficient.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry, I was confused.
Mhm. Oh, you're going to get a lot more confused. Eventually, you're adding half proficiency to a lot of these.
Oh dear.
What does
Good,
that
good.
mean? Okay, all right.
Uh-huh. Bards are silly goofy. Artificer, you get to choose 2 between the list of Arcana, History, Investigation, Medicine, Nature, Perception, and Sleight of Hand. You get to choose 2 of those.
Would you mind going over like a general idea
Sure.
of what those are?
Arcana, your study of magic. It is your just magical understanding, the study of the arcane. History, your knowledge of past events and what happened in the past. Investigation, your ability to examine a room and pick apart what occurred there. Medicine, your ability to know about certain medicines and healing sort of things or certain diseases. Nature, your ability to know what plants are, which plants are poisonous, which plants are good to eat, so on and so forth. Perception, your ability to sense the area around you, get like a general danger sense, see if someone's like walking behind you, your just ability to perceive around you. And then sleight of hand is your ability to like be nimble with your hands, whether that's like sewing, crafting, pickpocketing. It is your just deftness of hands is the idea.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Oh, I
you
just
get to
noticed
choose
I
2.
have so many more stats than y'all, skills than y'all.
Yes,
Uh,
that's
yes.
what bards do.
Bards are crazy.
Mhm.
They're
Alright,
the jack
for-
of all trades.
And for paladin, you get a choice between athletics, your general athleticism, insight, your ability to determine the true motives of someone, intimidation, your ability to scare the living shit out of someone, medicine, study of medicine, persuasion, your ability to be amicable and persuade people to do as you say, and religion, your knowledge of religious events, gods, general religious iconography. And you get to choose 2 of those.
2 of those. I'll pick athletics and intimidation, I think.
So in that list in properties, you're just going to change that 0 to a 1, and that will give you proficiency.
Hey, Rolly.
Mhm.
How do I get proficiency in thieves' tools? Like, where do I stick that in?
So proficiency in thieves tools, that just exists. I need to hard code that.
Oh, fair enough.
I got it. I have a whole tools thing that'll give you in a little bit.
Cool.
Mhm.
I mean, not proficiency, expertise. But, same thing.
Yeah, I got you. Expertise. So if you have expertise, you do 2 instead of 1.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that.
Yeah. I assumed you would kind of pick it up. All right. So if you have your skills set out, next your background gives you skills, and I will just really quickly give you what those skills are, so you're not like digging through it again, if you don't mind. Let me just hit these really quickly. Salty, go ahead and add acrobatics and performance to your skill proficiencies. If you already chose them, you get to choose 2 more.
Wait, so I get 2 in both of them?
So no, you get another. So you get acrobatics and proficiency. You got to put a 1 next to those. If you already
Okay.
have a 1 next to those, you just get to choose 2 more.
Okay.
Mhm.
Acrobatics and
for
performance. Okay.
for Knight of the Order, you get persuasion. All right. So just choose. You get the persuasion for free from your background. If you already had a 1 next to that, you get to just put it anywhere else, and then you get to choose basically another paladin skill. So basically choose 3 paladin skills and persuasion is the idea.
Gotcha.
For you.
I'll put religion then.
Very good. For Gambler, you get access to Deception and Insight. If you already had those skills, put them anywhere else. I don't think you did.
Yep.
But
All
you
right.
get Deception and Insight. And then for Clan Crafter, I think you get something else, but I think you already took care of that. I assume, at least, Tigris. You get History and Insight, if not.
History and insight? Wait, I do?
Yep.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I didn't.
for Clan Crafter. Yeah.
Oh,
from your
crap.
background.
I didn't add that yet. Okay, thank you for
Yep,
reminding me.
mhm. Nope, no problem. Okay, with your stats, your skills, everything else should be set up. I'm going to really quickly set your HPs.
Hold on, I'm changing it from religion to insight, actually.
That's fine. All right, so let's go ahead and give you your starting HPs. For starting HP, you take your max die roll plus your constitution. Rickon, you have a constitution of 14, as well as it being an artificer. You get to start with 12 HP.
14? Are we looking at the same value right now?
8 plus 4 should be 12?
Okay, because my score was at 18. I wasn't sure what you meant. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So
right.
how it works is how to determine your minus 10 divided by 2 is how you find your bonus from your score.
I see.
So you have an 18, so it's 18 minus 10, so 8 divided by 2 is 4, and that's your constitution bonus.
Right.
And then you add your constitution bonus to your health.
Okay.
So a max roll of 8 plus 4 is 12 HP.
12 HP. Okay, got it.
For a paladin, you have a D10, and you have a 10 in constitution. I don't think you've updated this yet. Go ahead and save it real quick.
Yeah.
Save wherever you're at.
Okay.
If you
Yep.
could.
And then, yeah.
Okay. As a paladin, you have a 10 con score, meaning your max HP is 10.
Gotcha. Wait, it says 10 plus your constitution modifier, doesn't it?
Your modifier.
Oh, okay.
Your score is 10, which is exactly average, so it's a +0 modifier.
Right. Gotcha.
All right. Salty, you have a constitution score of 10, and you're a bard, so you have an HP of 8.
Dang.
At level 1. You are a rogue. I believe that is a D8 plus a constitution score of 12. That is a HP of 9. And then for a druid, we'll determine your constitution, but that is another D8 hit dice, so you will start with 8 HP plus your whatever you determine your constitution score to be. And with all of that, your characters are now complete ? Some of you are spellcasters, so I'll need to get spell lists from you, and that will take a little bit of time, and I'll work with you separately to determine what spells you have, and I'll walk you through like what some of the good ones might be, what some of the ones you want to avoid be. At level 1, you don't really have too much choice on how to spec. It's kind of just level 1 and things, so you're kind of just stuck with what you have at level 1. I think the only person who gets something at level 1 is... I think Shane is... No, because they have a level 2 subclass. Yeah, I think yeah. So at level 1, you just have the level 1 ability for your class, which may involve spellcasting, which means we'll run through what spells are available to you later. That'll take not a lot of time, just a little bit of time kind of walking you through what some of the good ones might be. So with all of that, I have everything I need to program your tokens. Hopefully you have a somewhat understanding of kind of what the world is. I don't expect you to maintain all the information. We'll cover it up as it becomes relevant, and I'll inform you of like, hey, this is like culturally significant or whatever. We'll cover all of that when it gets to it. Your characters are built, which means it's finally time. We get to talk about specifics of your adventure. Woo!
Uh-huh.
All right.
Cool.
I have 3 adventure prompts for you, and you get to choose which adventure prompts you want to do. These will determine your starting point. I have an idea of where I want you guys to end, but these will kind of determine your early and mid game. So, because of that, let me offer you the 3 adventure ideas that we will start with. The first: the sands of Dunar have brought forth a strange ruin that is yet to disappear after several weeks, leading many to believe that it contains a great treasure. The Dunarian sand real estate business has hired you all as as a scouting party to oversee the initial investigation into the ruin. And that is prompt 1.
Mm-hmm.
Prompt 2. Yarning is at war, but it doesn't mean that they're stagnant on their adventuring. Outcries of strange monsters have cropped up in the mountains of Division, which are the mountains that divide Yarning and Dunar. As such, the local Adventurers Guild is calling out for brave heroes to deal with the monstrous threat in the mountains. This will involve some survival, living up in the mountains, hunting, so on and so forth, as well as dealing with some monsters here or there. And option 3. Faring has a crisis. Again. A new portal has awoken that has a strange magical effect on the terrain, much to the dismay of the landholders. Jesse, the Silver Ward and headmaster of the local Wizards College, is asking you to give assistance as you collect samples from this otherworldly portal, which has refused to go away.
Ooh.
I kind of like the fairing prompt.
The Family Guy funny moments question.
Yeah, exactly.
Family Guy
Sound-
funny moments, yeah.
I don't know if anyone
That-
else has any input.
I
The Dunar one sounds interesting as well. We could make 37 gamers 42 gamers if it all goes according to plan.
Yeah, with one party.
I
Imagine
assumed that the
second one.
37 characters were through a single campaign. Is that not the case?
That is, it was a single campaign with
It was
the
a-
37 gamers, Paris.
So it could be well more than 42.
It could be more. It could be more. I'm just being
it
optimistic.
could be more, theoretically.
Oh wait, we have the good music
Um,
playing? Hold on. Anyways.
So,
But,
So,
yeah.
so I'm sorry. Could we one more refresh? I was deep in
Sure.
menus.
first one. The Sands of Dunar have brought forth a new ruin, which has refused to go away, leading many to believe that there's something fascinating inside. Treasure hunt. Next one is Yarning is at war, but that doesn't mean that they're not looking for adventures. Monsters have emerged, and the local Adventurers Guild is asking for brave heroes to deal with the threat. This is just a monstrous hunt leading to some discoveries, adventuring in the mountains. And then Faring has a crisis where they need you to investigate a magical portal that has not gone away, which is one of the weird things that happened in Faring. The weird thing being that it's not disappearing. Typically, they don't last long, and so the fact that it stayed for a while is a little concerning.
Mm-hmm.
I can say I think the one I find the most least interesting to me is the mountains one, by the way.
Same.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
either going to
completely fair,
be,
completely
I
fair.
think, Dunar or the Fearing is what I'm thinking.
Is Dunar the dungeon
Desert.
dungeon?
The treasure
Dunar
hunt.
is desert.
Yeah.
We either go like diving through a dungeon in a desert or
Hmm.
hopping through a magical portal.
I'm team magical portal, I guess.
All right.
I'm team
I am
dungeon on
also.
this one, but if I'm outnumbered, I'm also down to go into the portal.
Oh boy.
I'll
Yeah,
select Desert.
I'm leaning towards desert dungeon.
Okay. I think I'll do desert then.
All right. That is 3 for desert, in which case we will do the Sands of Dunar. All right. This campaign has been named. You are all the dungeon delvers of Dunar. And as such, I will give you one final warning. I love red buttons.
Oh no.
God, do I love giving bright red shiny buttons that you can fuck around with. This whole world is a red button and you just don't realize it yet.
Oh man.
This world
Like you
relies
die.
off of fuck around and find out.
We are going to die.
But that's the best part.
But you see, I'm
This
going to
world
persuade the
resolves.
I
red
like
button.
my paladin cowboy. I
So
don't want him
true.
to die just yet.
Yeah, I'm going to persuade the red button. That's the thing.
Awesome. That's what we love to see.
Every red
The
button.
game is fuck around and find out, and I love fucking around. So, with that final warning, we're all set up for session 1. I can, as I already have a decent bit planned out for a decent lot of things, I can do next week. If you would all like another week to study your character sheet, we can do 2 weeks. But I can do this next Monday if you guys are down.
I'm
I'm
down
down.
next Monday.
I'm down.
Same, yeah.
Awesome. Then our next meeting will be Monday the 10th, same time. Session should run for about 2 hours. We should be all set.
Right. What should we do
Nice.
between now and then? If there's anything. we
In
need?
between now and then, if you're a spellcaster, I'll work with you to get your spell list. If you're not, look at what abilities you have access to. For some of you, it's just going to be pretty simple. I think for paladins, like lay on hands.
Mhm.
Just get yourself familiar with sort of what your class can do. And the other thing I'll say, just kind of as like another final thing, it is best to treat the world as if it was real, and I mean that environmentally. If you are next to a puddle, there is water there. You can interact with the water. If there is a tree, you can interact with the tree.
I can persuade
Feel
the
free.
tree.
You know, if you learn how to speak to the tree, you 100% can.
Dude, I said
Um,
practice in nature proficiency then.
Awesome.
Make
Yeah,
a
exactly.
Lorax build.
Bard Druid's funny. All right, but yeah. So the general idea is, the world exists. You can interact with it environmentally. People, whatever like works in real life would probably work here. Like, just feel free to just do some off the wall shit. Get your mind in the headspace of this is like a place that I can interact with, and I'll work with you. The typical gameplay loop, quote unquote, of D&D is I will describe a setting to you. I'll give you guys the ability to explore, ask questions, interact with things. I'll tell you how they interact, and we just kind of develop from there. I am like a choose your own adventure book. I am the book. I will describe to you a setting. You guys choose which options you want, and I will continue forward from there, is the general idea. It's just this back and forth of me describing, you guys interacting. So long as you're in the headspace of, I'm going to act like how my character would, I'm going to, interact with the world, we'll be all set. I think the only thing I require from all of you, I need an image that will depict your character. While I would love to use live mochi reaction and Harada, you can also probably find something that would suit your character a little better. I would like to get with an artist to draw some chibis so that we have like your guys' talking heads kind of by the side so it's not as stagnant. And I'll work with some artists to do that. But to do that, I need character descriptions. So just like a 2 or 3 sentence, what your character looks like would work. And then if you have like a reference art, that would also work well.
Okay.
Okay.
Speaking of character descriptions, I know I DM'd you about this earlier today. Do you want us to write the second page of the 5e character sheet for
Yes.
you? Okay.
That was the thing I was going to talk about off screen.
Oh, okay.
But I will bring it up now. Backstory. Backstory is another thing that is important. Backstory ties you to the world, and it also allows me to kind of integrate elements from your past that kind of amplify the roleplay a little bit. As such, write out a backstory to your heart's content. If it's 2 sentences and it's just like, I'm a guy who exists and I live on the tree, awesome. If it is, I have received backstories that were 10 pages long, filled with NPCs, character relations, detailed descriptions. There was a character I ran for named Wealth, who was a con artist, and he sent me a 9-page list of every con that he ran, how much money he made from them, and who he scammed. If that's what you want to do for backstory, fuck yeah, let's go for it. If you got me 2 sentences, fuck yeah, I gotta work with it. Like, whatever it is, have some just story of how your character ended up in the situation where they're taking a job to discover some ruins. The only thing that you need to worry about is, why is your character there, and why is he willing to work with the group? That is the only questions you need to answer in your backstory. If you can do that in 2 sentences, awesome. If you need 10 pages, awesome. Just write it out to your heart's content.
Gotcha.
All right. That should be everything that I require from you. I am going to be coding for a decent section, but that is the end of session 0. We have gotten past session 0, and we should get session 1 next week. Whew.
All right.
How you guys feeling?
I'm
Excited.
good. I'm
very
excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I have been DMing for like 6-something years. This world is alive and has had several players go through it. There's a lot to discover, a lot to have fun with, and I got a lot of stories. So hopefully this will be another fun addition to the world.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. That is all. You can leave at your own heart's discontent. I am probably going to talk to my chat for a little bit. You guys can stick around if you want, or if you got to get going, you got to get going. I completely understand.
All right.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Whew. Yeah. No. Session 0s are always they're a little stressful. I'm not gonna say no, because it's just like I just gotta unload a lot of information, and I know how boring that can be. It can get a little long.
Right.
I don't know. I found it very interesting. I'll say that you explained it very well.
You did a very good job of explaining it. However, I am not good at paying attention. So if I forget things and I need a reminder later, I will ask. So
good, perfect. Ask me as many questions as you want. I am here to do it.
And I find it mildly entertaining every single time my charisma stat went up.
Yeah, no. Charisma is actually like a very surprisingly easy stat to get. It's very easy to be so fucking likable.
Wait, what? It's out of curiosity, what did you put it at to begin with before you got all these bonuses?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I maxed it out, obviously.
oh boy.
Yeah, so 16 charisma plus 2 plus 1. They're at a 19.
Yeah, I meant 19.
So like
Boy.
charisma's their main casting stat.
Oh, okay.
They're changeling,
Nobody
which
hates.
gives them even more charisma.
Yeah,
Nobody
it gave me +2 for charisma with changeling.
Yeah. So the best part about changelings too is that they have the ability to like shapeshift and like change their face and shit, which is really cool. But it is described that they are fleshy gray blobs underneath the disguises they wear. So it is canon that if they shapeshift in front of people, they get freaked out because they're like, "What the fuck? You're a monster!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
where
a little quirky.
that's where the charisma part comes in. You persuade them
Yeah.
that you're not a monster.
I'm not.
Exactly.
I'm
Yes.
just a little. I'm just a
Yeah, I
little
mean,
guy.
you may have seen me turn to a gelatinous blob on the floor, but I'm actually normal.
He
I'm
really
still a
liked me
person.
though.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I have a changeling archer right now. Is a character I'm playing in a different campaign by my boy Alfie. Love him. I love her. Amber's so cool. She was hired as a bodyguard over this fucking dumbass college student who's like basically working on his master's program, but he's too weak to actually go like adventuring on his own to like discover something. And so he hired my character Amber to do it. And he walks into so much dumb shit. Like he's like, "Oh look, a poisonous flower. I wonder if I can investigate." And he just like gets it all up in its face, and I have to like mom mode, just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Oh, it's love the Black Walls. They're awesome because his criminal brother crashed the party, and we had to rescue his girlfriend from the Sultan, which was pretty funny. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. This world's crazy. Grungy pisses me off.
Why?
That
What?
dumbass
What did?
fucking-
I want
Okay,
context,
imagine
but at the
this.
same time, you don't
I-
have to tell us.
I'm going to say this. I have a beloved friend. We're not going to worry about their name. They were very new to D&D. I was their, first DM who like actually ran a game for people instead of just kind of being like, yeah, we're just going to do something, I guess. Like I was like the first one to like set up a game. They had no idea how to build a character. And so they had their toxic ex-boyfriend make a character sheet. And they made Grungy, the Grung,
Mhm.
with 6 constitution, and was an arcane trickster rogue.
Oh boy.
This creature was an abomination. For the first like 10 sessions, they didn't cast a spell, and they were an arcane trickster, which is like prioritized by how much they cast spells. They
Yeah.
just didn't. They just did it, and I was like, hey, you can use the spell, and they're like, yeah, I'll do it later. And so Grunky became this just like little frog that everyone was like, oh, little scrunkless, little binkless, just like like pinching cheeks, and like they like were incredibly racist. Like Grung was like, I intend on bringing you back to my village and making you all my slaves.
Right.
And they would just like say shit like that, and the party was like, oh, isn't he cute? Just shit
He's
like
so cute though.
that. Yeah. And so that was the dynamic. Grungy, they ended up fighting an astral incarnation
Oh, dear.
of a great sorcerer, and it was like this giant earth demon with these like stone hammers.
Yeah.
And Grungy, one of the mechanics was that the hammers were delayed, so they would create danger areas that you had to get out of, but they would also be having other effects. So now you had to choose, like, do I just tank the blow or do I like suffer this debuff? Was the general idea of the fight. Grungy, with like all 12 HP that they had at like level 10 or something, because they just rolled poorly on their dice and took -3 to all of their health rolls. So like they sometimes minus HP on a level up. It was bad. Like 12 HP frog standing in front of this astral incarnation just turns around to the party in the middle of the hammer drop, salutes, and then gets turned to fucking paste.
No.
Completely destroyed.
How could they?
And that's when you're like, okay, that's the end of Grungy. It wasn't. So I
What?
decided to fuck with them more. Because that sorcerer figured out that they killed Grungy. And so they're like, oh, I got an idea. So they resurrected the frog paste into like this undead warrior who was suddenly a very competent character, because I wanted to like mess with them and be like, oh, look what your character could have done. Just like whatever. So the person who ended up fighting them, because they were brought back as an enemy, was this blue paladin dragonborn with a sword forged of dragon steel, which was this incredibly like crucible level sword from like Doom, if you makes sense.
Yeah, I
right?
know what you mean.
Yeah.
Walks up to Grungy, says, you lived a good life. Crit him twice, dealing over maybe 200 damage to this frog at their level, and
No.
just eviscerated them. Doom glory killed Grungy a second time.
Wow.
And then laid them to rest, and it was like the end of Grungy. So it's just an ongoing bit in like my really close group of D&D people that we play with, that like, don't make a Grungy. Don't make this like weird ass fucking character that does not exist.
What a roller coaster of emotions I just went on.
That was actually beautiful.
I laughed. I cried.
Grungy's great. In fact, the group chat that we had before, that frog, that was the art they used for Grungy. Just that frog. It was awesome.
Grungy.
Grungy is fueled by determination and racism.
I love him though.
It was so good. Oh man, he was nothing compared to Vox though. Vox was funny. Vox was played by the same person who made the con artist, but he made a lizard folk who was a crafter. He was a lizard folk crafter. And what he would do was he would take the bones of his enemies to make weapons that he would then kill more of their allies with.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just incredibly brutal. Some of the most brutal depictions of violence from this one like lizard folk. It was awesome. It was great.
Man,
Joe,
I
this
miss
is-
D&D.
How you doing? It's a lot of fun. D&D is great. It's been one of my like like this is like one of the hobbies that I'm like incredibly serious about. Like I love fighting games, but like if we're talking about like hobbies that I'm very serious about, D&D is one of them. Like
For sure.
This is
I
a
feel
game I
that.
love.
I mean, heck, I DM'd for like 2 years for one group, and it's like, it was cool until like we kind of all just fell apart. But it's fine. These things happen. It's part of the job.
Yeah. Fortunately, one of my D&D groups, at least my at-home group that I used to play with a ton, we're still going strong. I was invited to one of their weddings like last Saturday,
Cool.
and yeah, it was really nice, but it was really funny too because it was clear that I as an invite, it was very small scale, right? It was just supposed to be like very close friends and family, and they're like, I guess we'll also invite Relly, and I was like, awesome. So it was like very funny because it was like me and 2 other people in that D&D group who went to this dude's wedding, and we were sat at like the back table, not really interacting with their family. Because the joke was there was like, oh, how'd you meet the groom? And you're like, oh, he roleplayed as like a bird who like killed people. And I don't think the family needs to know that on his wedding night, honestly. It was awesome. Yeah, good time. Love
Good
that guy.
times.
Good times. There were 2 birds in that campaign, and they both pissed me off. One of them was a Kenku. Kenkus can't speak; they can only repeat what they've heard before.
Oh, dude.
And they had amnesia. So basically, what the player did was they would record what we said on a soundboard every session, and use that as like their words that they reset every session, which was very funny until. As a bit, I said that there was a bard performing in a tavern who was singing Minecraft parodies. And for whatever
no.
reason, this player was like, he's never going to forget Minecraft parodies. And so this bird, who would later go on to commit actual war crimes, is constantly humming, "Take back the night."
In the come on.
There's you will meet random ass NPCs, and if they are so criminally insane, know there was probably a player at some point.
Understandable.
Understand.
How's the campaign going? This was session 0, so it's just starting. We're getting there. Yeah, it's awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with D&D, especially if you just lean into how silly it is. Like if you're just like, yeah, fuck it, we're just being silly.
Yeah, like D&D's, yes, it's a serious role-playing game, but also there's always going to be moments of levity. You let your players have fun.
Yeah, I dislike DMs where they're like, no, we are a grim dark setting. We're killing like people are dying. You're making
Death and
morally
blood.
great decisions, and you're just like, I wanna like.
I mean, there's definitely
I
a
wanna get
time and
stuck on
place
that.
for it, as long as
sure,
like,
sure.
as long as like the people agree to having that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of like why I give the tonal sort of like option at the beginning after difficulty is like, what do you guys want to do? If we want to have like a very serious campaign where it's like grim dark and you're making morally great decisions and like bad stuff's happening around you, we can have that. Or we can just be goofing around and just like dumb shit happens and we laugh about it and you just like encounter it as a game. That's sort of like the idea is my job as a DM is just to facilitate fun for you guys. And so whatever is fun for you guys, like I'm just down for.
I mean, Curse of Strahd. I used to DM that module, right? Like it's obviously grimdark, vampires, werewolves, all that jazz. But despite that, despite all the seriousness, I've had like moments of levity between characters because we had a wizard who was obsessed with horses. I don't know why. He just wanted to have a horse in Barovia. So one of our monks, who was like the party trickster, he was like, "Yeah, I can sell you a horse for like 100 gold." And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then, "Where's the horse?" "Okay, here's the gold. Where's the horse?" Monk starts following the wizard around with like coconut shells and goes clippity clop, clippity clop. Fucking hell.
Oh, there was a time. Oh shit, this is funny. So one of my parties was like addicted. One of my party members, or one of the players who I had, one of the party, they had an addiction to wild magic mushrooms, where when you ate them, they would cause wild magic to occur, and they were addicted to them. Like they gained an actual addiction to them. And they rolled on the wild magic table, because I have a custom wild magic table, where every equestrine beast hates you inexplicably.
Oh no.
So just every horse just hates you just for some reason. And they're like, oh, that's funny. The next character that they play has wild magic proc, and they also get that every horse hates them. The next character they play had wild magic proc, and they get that every horse hates them. 3 times in a row. This character,
wow.
for 3 characters, could not interact with a horse ever, or else they would like get beat the shit beat.
Does
out
this
of them.
count like the tribes of my heel, or like?
Yes, centaurs too.
Okay. But okay, wait. If
Every
it's a
time I
centaur, do they like half hate them?
only the horse half hates them.
They get the freaking donkey kicked, and they're like, "Sorry, dude, I couldn't control it, man. That
I
was
don't know.
me.
I just felt like that was right. I mean,
I listen, man.
Look, man, I have a muscle twitch. I can't control it.
I'm kind of glad that you guys didn't go to Fairing. I'm gonna announce this because that same player, their origin was from Fairing, and they invented a city for themselves where they were born, and it's named Poggers Champion.
Oh,
Oh.
no! We could have gone to
Wait,
Poggers Champion.
I saw that in chat. I thought that was also a joke.
Poggers
I
Champion is
know.
real. No, it's real. You'd be surprised how many of these are real. Yeah, Poggers Champion is a real place where they grow magical
No.
drugs.
No,
No.
Okay.
Okay, now it's my sole objective in life to set up a city besides that called Komodo Hype.
Wait. Do we know where it is in Fearing?
It's. I'm gonna say that your character probably would, Rickon, since you're a gambler. You've probably interacted with like the shadier scene of society,
I see.
so you probably would have heard of the drug farm of Poggers Champion.
All right.
The
'cause
Pagarians.
If Poggers Champion is on the border of Fearing and Tribes of Mahil, you could put Komodo Hype as like a Komodo themed tribe right on the border. Okay, like if you really want to create a Komodo themed tribe right there, the opportunity is there.
it's right there. It's right there for the take.
I will let you guys know. While I do have an idea for where the campaign's going, if at any point you think something is more fun, I will 100% just drop this campaign and we'll just do whatever the fuck you guys want to do. Like, if you guys want to build a city, we're doing a city builder campaign, right? Like, just
Hell yeah.
instantly. Lizard folk Kutex? No!
We have to meet him. To find him. We
my
walk
God.
into that city and they're just shilling NFTs at us, and we're like, "What is an NFT?" And it's the same response, even though in a fantasy setting.
Non-fungible talisman. It's your talisman.
They're running around saying, "Don't take the vaccine." He's like, "What's a vaccine?"
Fucking Kutex.
Holy
I-
shit.
That's so funny.
I guess while on the topic of Poggers Champion, would you be able to
Morin,
give
by
us
the way.
like, sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking chat. Don't worry about it.
Would you be able to give us like a list of notable cities or areas in each country, or would that be
Yeah.
too much? Okay.
No, 100%. I could. I can list some notable places.
All right.
But also, you have free reign just to create your own place at your own leisure.
Nice.
Equivalent of taking a screenshot of an NFT in a fantasy setting.
That
Probably
reminds
an
me, I thought-
artificer creating a magic item out of nowhere.
Don't say artificer. You're giving me ideas.
Artificer?
No.
Oh no.
I'm
he's
just imagining
screenshotting.
a war
You know,
forest,
investing in
opening up their
NFTs is a
chest,
form of
and it's like-
gambling, you might say.
Have you ever heard of cryptocurrency? My body mines them.
God.
My body is a futurist computer that mines magic NFTs.
Don't touch me. I have,
He opens up his chest, you see like 3 RTX 3090s just.
don't touch my body. It has a constant heat
Oh,
metal
dude,
spell on
if
it.
you get access to fire spells and it's just your graphics card's overheating.
I'm just throwing the graphics card. Hey, fireball! There goes my cantrip for the day, I guess.
Holy shit.
Oh, good lord.
When you said fantasy NFT, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, a single page from a tome, and you can make a copy of it or something.
It's the single page from the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
It's yours, trust. No, it doesn't have any of the dark magic. This was the
No.
this was,
You
like,
don't
the
get
warning
the actual
page.
page. You get a certificate that says you own the page.
You get a signature at the bottom of every mage's textbook that says you paid for that page.
Oh. You know, there actually is a okay. So deep lore time, kind of. So that character I talked about before, Vox, they learned how to use something called a Spellforge, which is where you can like make your own spells. Is the idea. And he made a spell where you could like summon ball bearings just like as much as you wanted. Like you're just throwing ball bearings around. And they were just gonna name it like magical bearings or something. But one of their party members, I think it was a dwarf named Arvin. Arvin was like, "Hey, you know, you could trademark that spell. You know, we could sell that spell." And so it was changed to Vox's magical bearings, and it is for sale at some locations because they did trademark it and are now selling it.
Hell yeah.
Trust me. If you can think of something, we'll work it. It'll be funny.
Boy,
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna be fun. Very much looking forward to this campaign.
I'm glad. I hope to give some of you a very positive experience with D&D, since a lot of you kind of just had sessions fall apart, and I hate when that happens. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can keep something consistent for you all. 'Cause it's a
I
lot of
love
fun.
that.
Oh,
there
no,
goes the
music
bot.
Bot died. No.
Rest in pepperoni.
Mhm. Oh man.
So
Yeah.
what was it? When are we gonna figure out like the what is it? The starting equipment and all that stuff. Or
So
did that
your
just-
starting equipment, yeah, your starting equipment is basically what's on the sheet. It basically gives you armor and swords.
Mhm.
There isn't much choices. At least none of you chose classes that have a lot of choices on their starting equipment.
I think I have one where I can like choose my musical instrument.
Yeah. So you get to choose like what musical instrument you choose. But for most people, it's like, do you want playing cards or a chessboard? And it's like,
Oh, by the way, I already know
well-
which musical instrument I want.
if it's a kazoo, I will.
No, it's a
crack you
lute.
down.
I mean, it
Okay,
looks like
good.
I get
That's
a lot. I get like
Something normal.
I get a martial weapon and a shield. or I
Because
can get two
you know how I
martial
told you I
weapons.
did like stories where it's not exactly D&D, but like we would like role play stories basically.
Yeah.
I would always be a bard with like super high charisma, and also I'd have a spiked lute that I whack people with.
There was a character I had a while ago that was based off of Eno, who was also a bard, a swords bard. And my DM was cool at the time and let me use my guitar as like a battle axe. And I love that character so much.
Wait. Wait, who's the artificer again?
That'd be me.
Ricken.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to make my lute into a spiked lute.
Say no more. Okay. Is it a mace or is it like a great hammer? How big of
yes.
a loot are we talking here? Okay, looks like I'm making multiple.
I'll have one depending on how I'm feeling.
God.
Salte,
it's-
may I introduce you to the swords bard, whose artistry is swordplay?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is that
Uh,
it?
Well, primarily they studied martial arts, but it's more of a performative martial arts
Yeah.
where they can use their dice to like literally dance through the battlefield, inspiring people, but also at the same time like avoiding attacks or parrying a blow or just doing like I think it's called like beautiful strikes or something where you just add damage to it. It makes you a very mobile, very like quick acting character with like a decent amount of damage behind them.
They're basically sword swallowers and gladiators, which is pretty
I see.
cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
We'll think about it. We'll
think
think
about
about it. Yeah.
When we get to level 3,
Except for Shane. Shane gets it at level 2 because druids are special. Hee hee.
oh yeah, druids are special. So are warlocks. Warlocks get theirs at level 1. right?
Warlocks get theirs at 1, and then they get another option at 3. So
Yeah.
yes, technically warlocks have the most variety, but also like you're just reflavoring Eldritch Blast like 15 different times.
The most variety, but not really, because you are
Not
Eldritch
really.
Blast the character.
Oops! All Eldritch Blast.
Listen, I'll say, if you're a warlock player, not in Destiny, because you're based if you're a warlock player in Destiny. But if you're like a warlock player, who just plays warlocks, I highly consider you I don't know, go outside.
Are they
That's
the
the best way to put
are they the no actually are they the, like my favorite TV show is The Office, my favorite song is Bohemian Rhapsody type people?
So no, those are tiefling rogues.
Okay.
Tiefling rogues are, yeah, the tiefling rogue who's a thief and steals stuff, but they're really kind at heart.
Oh,
Who's just a lovable little goofball who
I
gets
see.
into some antics. Yeah, that is the tiefling rogue. That is one of the big three.
gotcha.
I think it's the
Isn't half orcs another one of
there-
those?
there are three. Wizards of the Coast every once in a while run majors for D&D, which is kind of funny, where they will run a preset adventure with standardized characters, and they'll run, and they take like check of like, oh, what kind of classes, race combinations do people play? The big three, every single time, are human fighters, tiefling rogues, and dragonborn paladins. Those are like the three, like quintessential D&D characters almost. There
Gotcha.
are the fourth behind it, I think, is Elven Wizard.
Sounds about
So also here in my starting equipment, it says I can pick a holy symbol, right?
Mhm.
Can that be my New King James Bible?
Completely. Yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah, gotcha. Just making sure.
You agreed very quickly.
Yep.
Tiefling rogue that is a highly irredeemable war criminal. That's not the worst I've had.
I've had Tiefling Warlock. Man, that guy was a piece of shit.
Yeah. So there was a person I used to play with, and there's gonna be some deep lore thrown. And if this person ever comes into contact with me again, I really fucking hope not, because they're literally the worst person ever to conceive to exist. But their name was Ollie. And Ollie moments were when characters would betray the party, because Ollie, 5 campaigns in a row, betrayed their party in character. Because they were like, oh, it's a cool character moment where I almost killed my party. And it's like, no, you were just being an ass. And so that's what we were deemed as Ollie moments. We don't talk to Ollie anymore, mainly because like we kicked them out of our games because we weren't having fun, and then they sent suicide messages to everyone in the party telling them to kill
Oh no,
themselves.
that's
Oh
the worst.
boy.
Excuse
Wow.
me?
Yeah. No, we were like, hey, we're not really vibing as a party. You're not really like fitting into what we expected. Like we just don't want to play with you. Like no hard feelings, but like we just don't think you're fitting in the group. And they sent messages to like 3 of us where they were like, where it basically said you should have given in to your instincts, you should have jumped, sort of
Oh,
ideas. And
wow.
you're like, what the
What the
fuck?
fuck?
Wow.
Yeah. And you're
Oh.
like, holy shit.
That
I,
guy, huh?
Yeah, they were very strange. Very strange. We don't worry about them anymore. But
Yeah, let's not.
yeah, let's just not. Hopefully that won't happen here,
Probably not.
Mhm. Yeah,
Don't say
yeah, I'll
probably. Say no,
Most
it will
likely
not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. I'm here
Definitely
to
not.
give everybody a good
Mhm.
time. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
So another thing I was gonna cover it throughout the week, but I guess since we're kind of just chatting now, content warnings. Kind of. I am okay with a lot of stuff role playing wise, but if there's certain topics that we just want to avoid, let me know what those are. Just asking in case something comes up where it's like, hey, you shouldn't involve children in war. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure thing, we'll do. We won't have that.
But I love
but, like,
iron-blooded orphans.
so real. But yeah, so if there's anything that you're like, hey, let's just not talk about that, just send it my way, and I'll make sure to we don't even like approach the subject sort of idea.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. I gotta prep NPCs.
It'll be
which
fun.
is gonna be funny. Yeah, it'll be fun. You're gonna meet the Denarian Trading Company, which is they're a piece of work. They're funny. Oh, you're gonna meet sand pirates too. Awesome.
Sand pirates. That's not fun.
Yeah, they are. So they're like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah,
in
like the
desert.
sand bending and like the.
Yeah. They're kind of like that, where they ride the like magical sands and just like essentially kidnap cargo ships that are like
So sick.
transporting loot found from like the like ruins and stuff. Yeah, sand pirates are cool. You're gonna really quickly realize a lot of stuff is kind of veiled references, not a ton, but like
Right.
But
know,
those
for,
are
like,
the
that
best
probably-
worlds, like inspired from other pieces of media. Those are great.
This world is a hodgepodge of just everything that I love kind of compiled into something else. A lot of it shows in Sorenstred. There's a country in Sorenstred named why am I forgetting its name? I keep getting bullied because of this. What is it? Winterhold. The dwarven country is called Winterhold, and they're like, hey, that's just Skyrim. That is the winter city in Skyrim. And I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah, kind of. But like, are we gonna worry about it? No.
You really gonna call me out on it?
Listen, listen? You're playing Makima the character. Are we really gonna be having this discussion right now? One Piece Land was a mistake. I didn't know about One Piece. One Piece Land was a genuine mistake in more ways than one. Oh shit! I forgot about the other grung. Fucking
Other
dude.
Grung?
Wait, there's more grungs. Grungs are so
There's
cool.
one
Grungs
other
are so
grung.
cool. Grungs are so
Alright.
funny.
So to explain this one, I have to explain a subclass that I created known as the Entropy Cleric. The
Mhm.
Entropy Cleric is a cleric who worships chaos, specifically the god of chaos, Decadence. They have a unique ability where they have the ability to target a boss type enemy and double their strength or double their like danger value, but they get double the reward after. So they can literally double or nothing a boss is the idea.
Mhm.
Okay, so like glass cannon.
Kind of, yeah. So where they'll straight up be like, before a fight, I'll be like, hey, you can activate your ability, and they'll be like, all right, cool, and it will make the boss harder for you guys, but you double the rewards after is the idea, right?
Uh-huh.
So
The
that's what they
gambling
have the
also.
ability to do.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this Entropy Cleric was a little grung on the Pawning Isles who dressed up in the clothes of a pope. His name was Bruh, and he had one of the grung additions that I made in my world, at least when you choose grung, is that you can either choose to jump high or you get a tongue that can reach 15 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
He chose the tongue, and what he would do would ride on the back of other players, shoot out their tongue, cast either healing from 15 feet away or inflict wounds, all the while trying to silently upset the rest of the party by like setting traps ahead of time and blaming it on the dungeon, intentionally making challenges difficult and him being like, oh. The backstory for this character, Bruh, was he was a frog who just worshipped the god of chaos because he thought he was cool. He joins parties and has a history of all of their party mysteriously disappearing by accident and him being the only survivor, leading many to believe that he was in fact a brave and noble hero who was able to outlast the elements, when in reality, he just made life so implacably hard for his party that they all just died. Just a walking bad omen.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It was, Bruz. It was the same person who glory killed the other grung. It was the same player.
Wait,
The lore deepens.
The Lord
you-
deepens.
so they were the same party?
No, it was
Oh.
It was the same player, different
were
campaign.
like these campaigns were like years apart.
Oh,
But it
okay,
was
okay.
just like, but it was like the same player who I just knew for a while. He's a Potemkin player, and I hate him. Fucking cringe ass Nene. Baby. Doesn't even do like actual Potemkin things. Just like actually just spam 6H.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
that's
okay.
that's on you if you get
I
hit
mean,
by
isn't
it,
that
then.
like actual Potemkin
I mean,
players?
The slowest
whoa,
button in the
whoa,
game.
whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say nothing. I'm just
I mean, I'm not hearing a no, but like.
no, I'm not saying this about all grappler players. I'm just saying
Well.
statistically.
Well.
And I'm saying I understand.
without condoning or condemning. I understand. No, it's fine. Yeah, all right. I think we're gonna call stream there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say goodbye to my audience. You are all free to go.
All right.
I hope you all
Mhm.
have a real one. I will see you all later.
Later.
All right.
Peace.
Have a good one.
All right, chat. How we doing today? That was the session 0 for sure. That was good. I was really nervous about this. I wasn't super confident in myself about the session 0. So I was like, ooh, oh, I better do well. Mainly because I'm a little out of practice. I haven't necessarily done a session 0 in a while. So I'm kind of glad this one really went well. I'm very excited for these characters. They seem very fun, and this group seems really fun too. I'm very excited for this campaign. I think it's gonna be really awesome. I really hope. But yeah, that's what to expect Monday nights. Hopefully, that good group of guys. I think it's gonna be fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I plan on probably at some point releasing like a actual lore document. Right now, the only document I have is like my like full on homebrew document with all like the like technical stuff in it. I kind of want to release just like maybe I'll make a video at some point where I'll just kind of describe each country as sort of like a monologue almost, where I'm like going through them as like a primer video. That would be cool actually, as like a hype video leading up before session 1 is like an introduction to my world. That would be interesting. Would you guys watch that? I mean, you guys already watched the stream, so you know about it. But like, do you think like general audience? Do you think? That's what I'm saying. Oh, all I'm saying. I think it would be funny. Maybe I'll work on that. I need to finish I'm working on a Bullet Azrael video that I need to finish. Just need to, but so much holding me back from stopping it. I.e., there's exactly one section where I go off script, but it was funny enough that I was like, I want to keep it. But it was hard enough that editing what's happening, I can't think of how to do it. So I've been approaching like this 1 minute section for like so long. That's kind of holding me up. I should probably just skip it and like continue and finish the video and then go back to it. But I'm like hung up on this one area. Editing wasn't always a pain. If I have a good script, editing's actually pretty fun. I actually enjoy it. But sometimes when a script is weird, editing gets a little tricky. All right. But yeah, thank you, by the way, to everyone who's so supportive of me recently as I have began a new journey of myself, we'll call it. Just figuring stuff out, and I thank you all for being very supportive of me. I did not expect the level of support I got, and I am very grateful. And I think that's all I got to say on the matter. But yeah, I will catch you all later.